We welcome you to Minute Maid Park in downtown Houston, where this afternoon the Astros play the middle game of a 3-game series against the Tigers. Also, Game 10 of this 11-game homestand. The Astros currently 4 games ahead in the American League West. The Tigers have struggled. They have lost 19 of their last 23. Hi, everybody. Welcome. 3-man booth today. We have the Hall of Famer, Jeff Bagwell, and the guy who is second all-time in games pitched, Mike Stanton. Mike, we'll start with you. A win yesterday for the Astros, a 3-0 win, and a home run in the mix. That seems to be the recipe for success for this team.
Yeah, after a difficult series against the A's where there wasn't a whole lot of offense, this offense isn't as reliant on home runs as it has been in the past, but when you hit home runs, you're going to win baseball games, and this is the way this team scores a lot of their runs.
And Baggy, it was a 2-run home run by Alex Bregman that got them going. This guy has been rolling. He is our TXU power player of the game. Bregman was just rolling along right now.
No, he is. And the biggest key for him is plate discipline. He's as good as anybody at 24 years old. He has a great eye. He knows exactly where the pitches are. When he gets a pitch somewhere up a little bit, he can hit those home runs to left field a lot. He's got a few to right field, but his plate discipline and his quick hands, he doesn't have much movement in his body, straight to the baseball. Just a special guy that just loved moments like that.
We've got the hitting and the pitching perspective in the booth tonight as we have a little Astros baseball for you coming up against the Tigers as we roll on a Saturday afternoon from Minute Maid Park. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Saturday afternoon baseball, Garrett Cole back with the team, and he gets the start today. Julian Morales with more on the right-hander after this.
Garrett Cole on the mound today. He was activated from the bereavement list today as well, making his final start before the All-Star break. And he's coming off a start against the Oakland A's, where the Astros would walk them off. But despite throwing 6 scoreless innings, he got the no decision. Wins have been tough for him to get here at Minute Maid Park, but the numbers have been very good. Let's take a look at him and our best in Texas power pitcher, presented by your local Ford dealers. These are his numbers right here at home. Just 3 wins, but the 2.61 ERA means he's performed well on this mound. 6 wins for him on the road. So just some tough luck when he's pitching here with the way the offense has been inconsistent throughout this first half of the season. However, the team has found ways to get wins as they have won a lot of ball games later in the games. And he hopes to finish out this first half really strong. He's talked about that a lot. He knows how important August and September are, so this could give him momentum headed into that way. The curveball's been good, slider's been good, and even that changeup has been good for him lately. So he's using all of his weapons against teams. A very good matchup today, too, against these Detroit Tigers, who have the tendency to chase a little bit. They're struggling at that, and that's what Garrett Cole can do best when he's on. TK, up to you.
Couple hard-throwing right-handers today. Michael Fulmer of the Tigers also brings it in the mid-90s, and along with Garrett Cole, these guys are going to bring some high-octane fastballs to the pitching mound this afternoon.
Yeah, Garrett Cole's getting the start. 27-year-old American League All-Star has done a really great job coming over from the Astros, changing his arsenal just a little bit. You see the numbers right here. Has become a big-time strikeout guy. Prior to this year, was actually striking out less than a batter per inning. Now you can see is actually one of the premier swing and miss guys in the league.
Well, yeah, I mean, when he was with Pittsburgh, he was trying to throw a lot of 2-seamers, and a lot of guys that have come over here, Strami has gotten throwing high 4-seamers. Guys just aren't catching up. It's not that easy to catch up to 97, 98. When he really wants to get up there, he can get up to 99 every once in a while. So that's what's going to get some swings and misses with his breaking ball, changing the eye angles. That's why you see him with all those strikeouts. He
can extend that franchise record for most strikeouts going into the All-Star break, sitting at 169. Already owns the record. Justin Verlander with 160 has a chance to catch him, but Garrett with a +9 going into their final starts before the break. Here's the lineup for the Tigers today. Garrett Cole will face a left-hand hitter and 4 switch hitters in the lineup. Jacoby Jones leads things off. First switch hitter Nico Goodrum, followed by their best hitter all year long, Nicholas Castellanos. Jim Adduci bats in the cleanup spot. Victor Martinez DHs. James McCann behind the plate, hitting 6th. Jamer Candelario, the third baseman, bats 7th. Jose Iglesias back in the lineup for Ron Gardenhire, hitting 8th. And the young left fielder Victor Reyes bats 9th and plays left field. Defensively behind Garrett Cole today, George Springer will be in center field, Kyle Tucker in left, and Josh Reddick in right. Marwin Gonzalez back at shortstop, Alex Bregman at third. Jose Altuve has had a few errors the last couple of games, hopes to get that turned around. And then Yuli Gurriel at first base, with Tim Fedorovich catching Garrett Cole today. Astros winners in the opener 3-0 yesterday. It was the 12th time the Tigers have been shut out this year. That's the most in all of baseball.
Yeah, they've struggled offensively in the Tampa series before coming here to Houston. You know, they ended up getting swept, but
first pitch swinging, Jones sending Springer back, and George will get to the track before he makes this play. Jones trying to attack early on the fastball of Garrett Cole.
Yeah, what I was going to say was not a very good offensive team, and then he gets a first pitch fastball and drives it almost to the wall in center field.
Yeah, well, Stan's saying, we talked about this before the game. There's certain good staffs out there, but when you're struggling, you roll into Houston knowing you got to face these guys. I mean, you're kind of looking at 3 days, 4 days, whatever it's going to be, looking at about 10, 12 strikeouts every single for 3 or 4 games. So it's tough to face these guys.
You know, velocity across the league is just so much higher. But when you come to Houston and you get this kind of power stuff, and it's not just the fastball.
It's not.
You know, with Cole, he's got a great slider. He's got a very good curveball. So as soon as you try and catch up, there's the slider there. As soon as you try and catch up,
yes, that's the problem.
Putting a wrinkle in.
Yeah, what you need to try and do is slow it down when you're hitting. But your natural instinct is to speed it up. And once you speed it up, then your hands get late. They drag, and then if it's a breaking ball, you've got no chance to hit it anywhere.
Nico Goodrum down in the count 0-2.
You know, and he was just like Charlie. You know, Charlie came over here as a 2-seam pitcher too. I mean, that dude's throwing 97 too now, 98 with a great curveball. It's no fun to face these guys. I can't imagine it is.
Yeah, Brian McCann, actually, he was asked, of all the pitchers he's caught, who has the dirtiest stuff, and he didn't hesitate. He said Charlie Morton.
I've been saying that all year long. And if he wants to, and I've talked to B-Mac and I've talked to Charlie too. If he could pitch an entire game with that two-seam fastball on the inside part of the plate to right-handers, and guys, there's nothing that anybody can do with that ball. Maybe Altuve could inside out a ball to right field, but you're not pulling it. You're either pulling off your shin. Your shin, or you're hitting it to the third base or striking out.
Federovich has to make the throw to first. Garrett Cole with a strikeout against Goodrum. Nothing new there. He has struck out over 40% of left-hand hitters this year. That's the best in baseball.
Yeah, it gets the breaking ball. You see it bounce well in front of the plate, and you ask, well, how can a big league hitter swing at a ball, even check swing on a ball that bounces that far out in front of the plate? It's because you have to commit to the fastball, and he throws so many fastballs in the zone. And you got to, as a pitcher, we used to call it cheating, but you got to get it going early, because you just can't catch up to it if you have a regular timing on your swing.
Yeah, it's the reverse of what you think when you're hitting. You're thinking cheating, but cheating is actually making you longer. And you have no time to react. You can't catch up with a fastball. Next thing you know, you're back in the dugout.
Three-man booth today. We got the hitting perspective from the Hall of Famer Jeff Bagwell. Mike Stanton with the pitching perspective. It'll be a little back and forth all day. We'll get to see from two different perspectives, and it'll be a fun pitching matchup because both these guys can really bring it.
Yeah, Fulmer we'll get to in a few minutes, but it's just been so much fun to see where Garrett Cole has ended up.
What a good guy, too. Good personality. Heart goes out to him. He lost his grandmother, so come back here and do something for her. I'm sure she's watching. So
here's our positioning brought to StatCast brought to us by AWS. You can see the shift. Now, this is something that's kind of new, Jeff, is that we're starting to see shifts against right-handers now. It used to be mostly against left-handers. Now it's kind of across the board.
It is, and here's the problem, is when you start cheating and start to do stuff like that, you're going to roll the ball over. And that's what you do. You're sitting there and you're trying to get going, so you're just going to come off the ball. You're going to be late and lazy, and that's just going to flip the bat head over, and you're going to hit a whole bunch of ground balls to the left side.
98 didn't miss by much on the 0-2 pitch. Garrett thought he was walking to the dugout after that last one.
And I will tell you guys this, talked about this earlier today. Our guys are so good at most of their pitches are all competitive pitches. What I mean by that, they don't throw many balls that as they leave their hand, immediately you go ball. You have to, in your mind, you're sitting there go, man, I might have to swing at that pitch. And that's when you start getting bad swings, because those pitches are around the plate. When you see a guy throw a ball way up high, way in the other batter's box and stuff, I mean, that as a hitter, that gets you back in the count, and it gets your feeling is different from total defense to maybe changing almost to offense. And that's what our guys do. And with the stuff they have, even if it is and they're guessing right or something like that, they're still going to either foul it off or they're going to miss it.
Good to see Charlie Morton named to the All-Star team yesterday. Now all 5 in the rotation have been All-Stars the last 2 seasons. There's not many teams that could ever say that about a rotation for the entirety of their careers, to have 5 All-Stars. Now you have 5 guys who've been All-Stars in 2017 or 18.
Yeah, it's been really impressive to see how these guys have progressed, and I think we have to give some credit to Brent Strom. What has made Garrett Cole, his stuff isn't any different than it was last year with the Pirates. What's happened is he's changed his approach to pitching, got rid of the two-seam fastball.
Line to left, Tucker will play it on a hop. Nicholas Castellanos has been the best hitter for the Tigers all year long, and he gets a 2-out single.
And Kyle Tucker a little bit in between what he wanted to try and do. If that was going to be a ball he was going to try and go after, and decided to pull up. You see a little bit off balance swing, but Nick Castellanos has really turned himself into a good big league hitter. Really their premier hitter in this lineup. You see that ball bouncing right at Kyle Tucker's feet.
Yeah, this is a new place. This isn't like playing in AAA or anything like that. There's a different way to play this wall over here. Generally, you see a lot of the left fielders will play right around that corner of the wall. Anything that's going to be hit towards his right is, that's going to be off the wall no matter what. So somehow get a position there. And he's not used to it. This is his 5th, 6th game or something like that. He's going to be fine. But I saw him in the clubhouse today. He's just a young kid, man. You forget about that. His eyes are, it's like seeing a deer in headlights.
That's right.
So
shaves about once every 10 days.
Exactly.
21 and a half years old.
That's unbelievable.
We still got to count the half.
Yeah, he's still like in that range. He's still in that range. 0-2 the count to a deucey. Runner on the move. The pitch is fouled away. Castellanos has only tried 2 steals this year. He's 1 for 2. But this Tigers team struggling offensively. They're going to try and mix things up against Garrett Cole. If they can put a runner in motion, they might do so.
Yeah, they have to. You know, the guys that we have, it's hard to get 3 straight hits off of these guys. So you got to do as much as you can. You know, even our ball club, you know, when we went to a little bit of a lull there, you started to see Bregman, you started to see Altuve, Reddick, Jake running a little bit more because we weren't getting those hits like we always get. You have to do little things, and that's what complete ball clubs do. They can beat you in different ways. We can hit the home runs and win games. We go first to third, and a great pitcher start.
Cole strikes out both of the left-hand hitters in this inning as he gets through the first with 1 man left on base. Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve's got a home hitting streak going. Yuli Gurriel hits 4th. Josh Reddick in right field batting 5th. Evan Gattis DHs. Marwin Gonzalez, the shortstop, hits 7th. Kyle Tucker's in left field, and Tim Fedorovich behind the plate.
All right, Michael Fulmer is getting the start for the Tigers. A 25-year-old right-hander. High velocity fastball, going to throw in the high 90s. Slider changeup. Last 3 starts, he's throwing the ball pretty well. Actually, in his last 6 starts, he's given up 3 runs or less in 5 of 6 of those starts. So don't get fooled by the ERA. He's throwing the ball much better as of late.
Wow. Yeah, he's funky too. He's not like a fluid pitcher. I don't know how it feels standing at home plate, but it looks like he's jumping at you with his body and his arm. So, and another thing you have to be real careful here with that sinker is to make sure it's up.
Ball is hit well to center field, going back Jacoby Jones, and he makes the play. George was hitting some tough luck. That one was pretty well struck, but he's out number 1.
Yeah, he's a big burly guy. We're talking about Michael Fulmer, and it's a max effort delivery. It's kind of like Justin Verlander. You know, Justin throws hard. He looks like he's throwing hard.
Right.
Garrett Cole on the other side, he's got a little more silky smooth, him and Morton, and then the ball just jumps out like crazy.
It's amazing how easy it looks coming out of their hands. Especially with the velocity, too.
Yeah.
I mean, both of those guys, anywhere from 96 to 99. But he's coming at you, this guy.
Yes.
Alex Bregman gave the Astros a jump start in last night's game with a 2-run home run against his former teammate Mike Fiers, and that put him at 20 for the season.
Yeah. Well, you look at Alex. I mean, I can go on and on about him. I mean, from start at the top where his hands are, they don't go down. They get that little load right there. It's a perfect plane straight to the baseball. He can handle the ball in. He can handle the ball down. But the main thing is his discipline at home plate. In this game, in the big leagues, if you swing at balls, you're going to be out. I mean, it's just we have the best athletes that can play this game here. They're going to catch balls, you know, so you got to get good pitches to hit, and Alex does the best job on this team of getting those.
Yeah, I love the story that he comes back to the dugout and tells AJ that pitch is 2 inches outside. They go up and look at the video, and it's 2 inches outside.
Yeah. And then he just swings at that.
First changeup of the day.
It was.
He's seen it now.
Change up at 90.
Yeah.
But you know what makes this such an effective pitch is the fact that, yeah, the ball's right down the middle. And what Alex is seeing, he's seeing fastball down the middle out of the hand, and then the ball dives down below the zone.
Well, yeah, let's not get anything crazy here. I mean, this is the hardest thing to do in all sports is hit this baseball. Guys throwing like that, you got a whole bunch of fielders out there ready to catch even your best bolts. You know, you're going to have things like that. The good news is, like, for me, if I was going to swing and I want to swing and miss at that pitch. I don't want to put it in play. I got another chance. And then you get a walk. Now, if you put that ball in play, it would have been a tapper back to the mound. Helmets will be thrown. There'll be some furniture moving around down there.
Water coolers getting beat up.
Yeah.
No Player Does More, presented by HEB. Jose Altuve has hit in 21 consecutive home starts. That is a Minute Maid Park record for an Astro. The all-time mark here in this building is Joey Votto, as a visitor, did it in 23 straight starts.
So that's over how many years?
Yeah.
It's actually ridiculous. See?
22 in a row. One pitch. Bregman going first to third.
Nice
Altuve really collecting his hits at home now.
See, guys, that's what we have to do. Those are the situations right here that makes us a great baseball team. Altuve gets that hit. There's nobody that's going to catch that ball. Alex, he recognizes that, and never, ever once does he think he's not going to third base. Now we got first and third with one out.
Two-seam fastball right down the middle to Altuve. And, you know, we talked about how aggressive Michael Fulmer's going to be in the zone to try and get ahead of the hitters. With Altuve, that's not really the approach you want, because when he comes off the on-deck circle, he's letting it fly.
Oh, no doubt. The biggest thing about Altuve, the funny thing is when like if Bregman hits a home run in front of him, you watch his next at bat, he's trying to go deep too. But that's how special he is. He can like just do stuff like that and then hit a line drive to right. This guy can hit a line drive pretty much anywhere too.
Especially with runners in scoring position. Sends one down the line in right. Bregman is going to tag. Castellanos makes the catch. The throw is going to be up the line and high. Astros jump on top, 1-0 on the sac fly by Yuli Gurriel.
And with the high throw, we got Altuve now at second base with another opportunity for Reddick. That's winning baseball right there. That's the things we have to do night in and night out. When we're not always doing the home runs and all that kind of stuff, we can do stuff like this. Take extra bases, be aggressive.
You love that.
I mean, I live for that. I mean, those are the things that I love about baseball. That it makes good players into great players. It makes good teams into great teams. It's just the little things that can get you extra runs in a game or two. It adds up down the year.
Here's Josh Reddick. Going to appeal Bregman leaving third early, and he did not, says Lance Barksdale. But even the other night, in that crazy finish with the Bregman ball topped in front of the plate and Jonathan Lucroy throwing it down the line in right field, you know, earlier in that inning, Josh Reddick going from first to third kind of changed the whole complexion of that inning.
He can run the bases. He does a tremendous job of running the bases. Takes a lot of pride in that. You know, and I will say I've seen two things over the last month. I saw that AJ could go out and get a call changed on the field that was never called. And then he had the actual gall to call a full swing bunt like Bregman, because he knew that was going to happen. I mean, that's why he's the best manager in the game. He knows stuff like that's going to happen.
And this is a commitment by a player seeing a ball off the bat that he knows is going to be a hit.
Yeah. I mean, that's the game. Everybody looks at the game certain ways, but it's the other part of the game that makes this so special, that makes this game the greatest game there is, because there's little things that go on that can totally change everything, an entire season around. I played in probably 2 or 3 games at the end of the season where we had to win to get in, and won those games luckily. But what if we had that win in July? What if we had that win in June? What if we had one more win in April? I mean, if you do stuff like that, I mean, it means a lot. And that's what I told the guys when I was in spring training. I said, as good as you guys were last year, we can be better. And it's that stuff. right there. That we focus on doing that, and that'll make us a better team, because you're not going to win every year by 15 games in June or July. And you know what? The other teams have gotten better, and this is a good test for us. And we've had some injuries with our offense, and we still are banging out wins.
2-1 the count to Reddick. Altuve on second with 2 outs.
And I think that A.J. Hinch, he's the perfect guy for a team like this, because he wants these guys to be aggressive. Yes, we see guys getting thrown out at bases every once in a while, but you can't have it both ways. You're either going to be passive on the bases, you're going to be aggressive on the bases, and if you're aggressive, occasionally you're going to get thrown out.
Yeah, and I think as a player, you have to understand those situations. There's certain times to be aggressive, obviously, certain times maybe not. But my biggest thing is in this game, especially on the bases, even hitting, your first thought is right. I mean, it really is. You go out there and you get that feeling, then go. It's like in life, it's probably your first thought is wrong. But in baseball, it is right. And, I've seen at the end of my career when I was hurt and I wasn't thinking quite, I would have that hesitation. And that cost me, whether I run on a pitch or go to another base. So it's just something that's concentration.
Shallow center field, could find some open space. Diving attempt, that's a base hit. Reddick going for second. He will go in head first. 2-0 Astros. That's where the extra 90 feet by Altuve makes the difference.
Exactly, and looking on the other side, if Castellanos hit the cutoff man, he would not have been at second base. That's a read by Altuve, who sees that right off the get-go and gets to second base. We get a blooper like that. We get a run score, and then Reddick, he sees it like that, and there's nobody at second base. So now we got a guy at second again.
Yeah, that goes back to that instincts and aggression on the bases. And sometimes it's not all about exit velocity. Sometimes it's about just hitting them where they ain't.
You're speaking to the right person right now. I don't care how hard you hit it. If it finds a little bit of grass out there, I'm in good shape.
Looking for outfield grass.
Yeah, it says 315 down there. 316 works. That's Tony Kemp.
That's right.
It works.
Tony hit 334 earlier in this homestand.
316.
Into the Crawford box.
That's all right. We'll take that.
Here's Evan Gaddis. Gaddis takes a called strike. Evan's trying to get through this 0 for 17 right now. He came into that stretch red hot, but has cooled off a little bit here since the Oakland series.
Well, you watch, Evans at bats. When he went through that real hot stuff, he was getting good pitches to hit, and when he got them, he hit them. And now they watch Sports Center too now, and they see what he's doing, and they pay a little bit more attention to it. When you're starting to go bad, all those pitches that maybe were called balls beforehand are strikes now. Jake earlier in the year, every time he walked up to home plate before he even got there, they put 0-2 on the board. That's just the way it works, and it's tough. And I talked to Evan about this. You just got to battle through this. It'll turn around. Stay with the same approach, and it'll work.
It's easier for him now to believe in that because at the beginning of the year, he struggled without the success, and really for a prolonged amount of time. And now he's had that success this year. Just look back on a recent stretch.
Well, no doubt about it. And part of that is what he did last year. He's got a track record. He grinds it out. He does his work and everything like that.
Foul tip caught by the catcher McCann, and that'll do it for the Astros. But a good start to this one. Just like last night, the Astros get 2 in the first.
who is your Astros first half pitching MVP? Is it Garrett Cole, Justin Verlander, Charlie Morton, Colin McHugh? All right, I'll tell you who wins later in the broadcast. Good luck with that one.
Yeah, this one's a little more difficult than yesterday. Yesterday was Bregman by about 80%. I don't think we're going to get those kind of numbers on this stroke.
3 All-Stars and a guy that could be an All-Star, Colin McHugh. As Garrett Cole will face Victor Martinez to lead things off in the second inning. Victor takes a called strike.
Victor's been in the league for what, 35 years?
Seems that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he just had his 62nd birthday.
He can hit, though.
Up to 2,100 career hits.
He'd have a lot more.
He's already collecting his pension.
Yeah, no kidding. You know, we need to talk about my friend Mike Stan, because I don't get a chance to see him very often. Second all-time in appearances.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like legit stuff, man.
Are you 1 or 2 in holds?
1 in hold.
Number 1 all-time in the history of the game in holds.
Thank you for creating that stat, because
Well, it works.
You didn't get Mariano getting the 9th, so you had to get something.
a little bit of love for those short relievers that weren't closers.
That's impressive stuff, man. I mean, that's like half the games that I played. Really? I mean, I don't know how many games I played, but it was close to like 2,200 or something like that. So
There you go.
23. I'm not sure, but that's impressive stuff to go out there and post every day. You know, I know as a position player, man, I really appreciate stuff like that, because you're one of our dudes, man, that we can count on. I mean, you know, and that's important as a player, man. When you know you can count on guys like Brian McCann, who played, you know, his 13 years and every day behind the plate with bad knees and still showing up every day. Those are my dudes. Those are the guys that I want around.
To pitch that many games, you can't be on the DL very often.
Was a couple times, but I did play for 19 seasons.
Wow.
Second to Jesse Orozco.
Yeah, he was another one that was collecting his pension when he was playing.
My goodness. Well, he played to his 46.
I know he did.
Did he really? That's
Yeah.
right, he did.
How about the guy behind home plate tonight? What was he, 46 when Nolan retired? Something like that, wasn't he? 46, 47?
Nolan's back there today. Just saw that.
Well, that's insane.
Still throwing gas.
Yeah.
He could probably get 5 innings right now.
Swing and a miss on James McCann. It's
Just by intimidation.
That's right.
All you got to do is put 34 and Ryan on the back.
That's right.
Somebody's going to be scared.
Here's what I got. Look it
There
up.
he is.
There's the Express. Lovely bride. Ruth. Looking up Stanton's, because we're just talking about Victor Martinez, who's 39. Mike Stanton at age 39 through 82 games.
Wow. That's a ton.
That's a lot of baseball.
Wasn't quite the Express that Nolan was at that age.
Didn't have
like Baggy said, you posted.
Posted, man. Doesn't matter.
Posted more than half of the games on the schedule.
You know, half the battle is tricking people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Those last few years did quite a bit of that, too.
I know. I tried to. I took my 2 practice swings, showed the back of my jersey, my number 5, and the pitcher was out there towards the end just laughing, going, "Whatever, man. Just get in there, get this over with."
Up here in the booth, they're asking, well, why is Baggy walking backwards to the plate?
No doubt. Brought my MVP with me up there. Could this help? No.
Special day today. The Hall of Famer Jeff Bagwell, Mike Stanton, number 2 all-time in games pitched. 5 All-Star games between the two of you. Mike, you were there in 2001,
Yep.
and you were in the Home Run Derby every time you were in the All-Star game.
I was for a very short time.
I got
to the
just
second
means
round.
you were smart.
Yeah. No, I just don't have the ability to hit 30 or what they hit now. I don't know. It's crazy. That's a fun time, though, you know, just to be with other people that normally you don't get a chance to. Probably some of them you didn't even like from across the diamond, and then you meet him, you're like, man, that's a good guy.
That's that home run derby. I mean, that's been the cause of several conversations of players going in slumps afterwards.
I don't believe in that.
You don't think so?
I really don't. I don't see how it would. It's like, you know, they used to say that about golf too. Mm-hmm. Like golf will mess up your swing. I don't do that. I don't believe in that. But if somebody does, then that's a problem.
Right.
Maybe because I didn't hit that many home runs, I didn't believe it.
Strikeout number 3 for Garrett Cole. First against the right-hand hitter. Now he'll face Jamer Candelario.
Well, the other part of that, what you said about the home run hitting contest, the guys that go in slump. You remember, generally when you get to the All-Star game, it's guys who are having the best first half.
Right.
Well, it's very difficult to maintain for 6 months. So there is going to be a lull somewhere. Generally, guys that hit a lot of home runs, they're going to have some holes. And they're going to go through some extended slumps. I mean,
do you think there's a chance of there being some type of fatigue? You remember Josh Hamilton had that just crazy home run derby, and he actually talked about it afterwards.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know what? I was tired.
No, I do, but there's still 3 days off after that. You know, you can look at it any way you want. You know, it's kind of like I always laughed at one in spring training. Don't worry about getting hits. I don't care about my hits in spring training. They don't count. The guys that are saying that are the ones that are not getting hits in spring training. And that was me.
We
Just concentrating on my approach.
Yeah, exactly. Just trying to see it.
We talked before the game because I was there for the one you were involved with at Veterans Stadium in '96. The reason you were only in the semifinals that year is because the 2 guys in the finals were Bonds and McGuire.
Yeah, they could hit some homers.
That was not.
Griffey too. Griffey, he can roll out of bed and hit a homer.
Man, oh man. You guys put on some shows back in the day.
Yeah, but guys today, man, I mean, they're hitting like 50. Non-stop hitting homers. Like Judge last year.
Oh.
He's sitting in the second deck in right center.
Oppo.
Yes.
Yeah, with just a flick of the wrist.
That's crazy.
And Giancarlo Stanton just smashes when he gets in those contests.
Well, he can break stuff when he hits it. He just line drives.
First batter to reach this inning. First walk by Cole as he walks Candelario with 2 outs. Now facing Jose Iglesias.
And to go back to the home run derby, now they're having a tough time finding guys to do it.
Right. Because everybody's out there saying
that's
they
right.
went a slump. The Judge went into a slump last year afterwards. I don't know. I look at it. That's an exhibition. The concentration really isn't that it would mentally mess with me. Maybe that tells you something about my mental makeup.
Line drive caught by Alex Bregman. Iglesias hit a rocket. But the Astros' third baseman spears it.
Alex Bregman has to charge plays like this. That's an absolute rocket, but just nice reaction plays. Get that one in the glove and end the inning. Part in various volunteer opportunities, including game day activities at Minute Maid Park, craft parties at local hospitals, and much more. For more information, visit astros.com/volunteer.
We head to the bottom half of the second inning. Marwin Gonzalez, Kyle Tucker, and Tim Fedorovich leading things off for the Astros here.
You can get Marwin going a little bit. I yelled at him in the clubhouse today a little bit. I said, come on, man. He goes, well, give me a hug, give me some hits. I said, you got it.
Last year, such a magical year for him.
It was so special. And I mean, he's such a good kid, man. I like Marwin so much. He can do so many things. I think he gets, I don't know, I think baseball people understand it, but I don't know if everyone understands there's not many guys that can do this. And if you look at last year, there's nobody better than Marlon. They can play anywhere on this field. He's just special. Those are guys you just don't find.
Well, and not just be able to go out there, but actually be at least league average at those positions, if not a little above average.
Yes, you're right.
AJ saying before the game that with the Correa injury, it kind of limits his maneuverability because now Marwin set it short, as opposed to being able to play all over the field for him.
Well, see, that's something that you have to look at on this club this year. We haven't had everything go totally right. You know, you lose your starting your all-star shortstop, but we've always had pitching, so that's been the constant that we have, and you always have a chance there. But you know, through some of the slumps and things like that, we've still able to be 4 games up in this division. So it just goes as a testament to the guys, a testament to AJ, what he gets out of his players.
League leaders are presented by Houston Methodist. The Astros for the second consecutive year with 6 on the All-Star team. Last year set a mark, and they match it again this year. Both years, 5 were named initially. Last year, Davinsky added, and this year, Charlie Morton added late.
Yeah, it's been an amazing run by this team, and you know, every one of these guys deserve this. And it was so good to see Charlie Morton at 34 years old finally get taken to his All-Star game, and then to see the interview afterwards. We actually saw some emotion, some smiles, him talking about, hey, my time is running out. Yeah, dude, you're still throwing 97, 98.
Good,
I don't know. I think you still got some time.
I think he looks so excited right there.
That's Charlie. Here's Kyle Tucker. What have you seen? He's played 7 games. What have you seen early with his at-bats?
You know what? He can say all he wants, but I'm sure he's a little. I mean, it's a little bit different being down in, you know, in West Palm hitting homers and all that. It's a little bit different than walking up here and seeing all this for real. I think he's been pulling off just a little bit. He's hit a lot of balls on the ground to the right side of the infield. He's going to be fine. He's just getting his feet wet. And the good news is on this ball club, he's not like the #1 hitter in, you know, Fresno, or, you know, he's got to show everything to get pushed up here. He's going to have his time here. He's not going anywhere, and he'll be fine.
It's a different vibe than when Correa was called up, and he was expected to be one of the big players in that lineup.
Well, yeah, with Correa, we didn't have this team.
Right.
You know, he came up and it was like, oh, man, we heard about this guy. This is great. And, wow, he's doing some great things. Now you're stuck into playing Sunday night games on ESPN. You're with the Houston Astros with, you know, 30, 40,000 people here. It's a different deal getting to the big leagues. But he's going to be fine. He's hit everywhere he goes. And people look at him on TV. And me personally, I've seen him, you know, on tapes like on YouTube or whatever. And I was like, man, I got to go see this kid hit in person because it doesn't look right. But if you get down there and you see him, everything's right except he doesn't let go with his hand, so it makes it look different.
Yeah, he doesn't have that classic one-arm follow through.
So it just looks different.
A la King Griffey Jr.
Yeah, I mean, like the prettiest swing there is.
Yeah.
Fred McGriff used to spin that bat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
only when he hit it, though.
Yeah.
Swing and miss, he didn't do it.
No.
That was his pose, the crime dog.
3-2 pitch, very close. Fulmer wanted it. Tucker gets it, and he draws a 1-out walk.
You know, one thing that he has been doing, we're taking a look at our MD Anderson strike zone. That pitch just off. Could have gone either way. Kyle gets the call, but, you know, that's one thing he's also done. You know, he's another guy that has a pretty good eye in the plate. We haven't seen it so far yet.
Right.
Things are kind of fast for him still right now. He's searching for that swing, searching for the ball, but he's a guy that has the ability to know the strike zone.
And if you do, that's a big, big asset to have. Like we talked about earlier, you swing at balls, you're going to make outs. And, you know, Fulmer's the kind of guy, because he's so funky and aggressive when he throws, that's a guy that you really have to concentrate on getting a good pitch to hit. Because you can start getting really out of whack on that deal of trying to follow his body instead of looking for where the ball's coming out of.
Second walk Tucker has drawn. Here's Tim Fedorovich. I've got to think, too, now with the strike zone so amplified with the umpires being graded, and we see the strike zone on the screen and a lot of broadcasts now, that may have been a pitch when you guys were playing that a 21-year-old rookie would not.
Oh, he's way back in the dugout. There's not even a question.
I thought you were going to go back to the Atlanta Brave days.
No, I can anytime you want. I'm trying to be nice to you since this is my first time here.
Well, I didn't get those calls. That was the starting pitchers.
Yeah, well, they got enough. By that time, I was in pacifier in the corner
Glavin and
after I
Maddox.
struck out 3 times. No, yeah. See, and that's the thing. You know, the velocity has changed. The strike zone has changed. It's a little bit higher. The ball at the knees is not as called as much. It's way, way in where it's actually where the plate is. When I played and faced you, it was different. You know, you had different umpires. At one point, we had National League umpires and American League umpires. Each guy you knew. This guy would give this far much. This guy might be giving something in, or he won't give something in.
Towards the middle, a little top spin, gets it through the infield. Kyle Tucker trying to go first to
That's what
third.
I'm talking about.
He will get there.
That's what I'm talking about, fellas. Good job by the kid there.
He had that play right in front of him. And you could see he actually took a second glance right as he rounded second. Then he put his head down. Elevated two-seam fastball. They're not supposed to be up there. They're supposed to be down, but he gets the ground ball. Federowicz does a nice job of just hitting it up the middle, and Tucker showing that speed going first to third on just a lousy ground ball up the middle.
That's the difference.
This is
between
our
good teams and great
Mattress
teams.
Firm Supermo right here, seeing Tucker slide into third.
3 times today the Astros have taken the extra 90 feet.
Guess what happens? We're going to put the third spot on the board here real quick.
Bregman went first to third on the Altuve hit. Altuve went first to second on the sac fly overthrow, the cutoff man. And now Tucker going first to third on that hit.
You know, and I want to get, you know, we talk about it, and that's what our job here is to do that. But in the dugout, that, you know, it needs to almost get to a point where it's not like, hey, man, good base running. That's the norm. That's how we do things around here. I mean, you should be at third base. If you're not, there's a problem.
Right.
That's the thing. It has to be a norm.
But some teams don't.
They
don't take the extra 90.
No. Generally, they won't be playing in the postseason very long.
There you go.
You're not going to hit 5 homers every night. There's other ways you got to win.
And that was one of the spectacular things about this team last year was, we'll take a look at that last pitch. That's yeah, that's a strike.
We'll take it. George will take it.
Yeah, the way he's been going,
Yes.
he'll.
Actually, I wish he swung it.
Just see if he can capitalize on it. Yeah, Fulmer throws both the 4-seam fastball and the 2-seam fastball. You saw the run on it. That's the 2-seam. The pitch before that was at the bottom of the strike zone, that's that 4-seam, has that little life right there at the end to hold that ball in the strike zone.
But if you get that one, you need to have that one down. Up is the one like our guys throw. There's your strikeouts or foul balls, pretty much.
George rips one down the line and left. 3-0 Astros. Federowicz to third. Springer an RBI double.
Well, there's your third run, Maggie.
Yep. I'll get greedy. I'll take 2 more.
Little cut fastball to George, a little bit out in front, but has nice extension through to get this ball into the corner.
He was out in front a little bit, but his hands stayed back right there. They didn't go way back and drift with his body as much.
And then that length through out in front is actually what allows him to catch that ball on the screws and get it down there in the left field corner.
Otherwise, your bat head just flips over it. You don't make contact. That's a good start. George needs that. He really is in a lot better mood when he's at second base. Yeah. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can usually tell how George is going.
Yeah, exactly.
Get a mistake and he's happy.
Yeah.
A little ribby there. Ribeye for George is his 46th of the year. Here's Alex Bregman infield in, and a line drive base hit. Federowicz scores. Springer being waved around. Here comes the throw by Reyes. It'll be in plenty of time, but George with a dive. He is still out. Almost snuck his way into an incredible run at the plate. Gary Pettis pretty aggressive there. And George is thrown out at home plate.
Well, you see the throw here. The throw is right on the money, and pretty aggressive send, actually very aggressive send by Gary Pettis there at third base, because that was not a very deep ball. And left fielder Victor Reyes got to that ball pretty quickly.
Yeah,
see
it's tough.
George trying to avoid the tag on the inside part, and just happy to see George gets up smiling and doesn't have like a little shoulder injury.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one right there because you know how it's very close over there in left field. And, you know, you got Altuve on there, but you know what? You got to take the chance. The guy has to make a perfect throw. If it's off by 3-4 feet, then George is safe.
4-0 on the RBI by Bregman. Alex now with 64 runs batted in. That leads the team.
Yeah, so I think the question that's asked is, okay, well, how can you send them? Because you have to make a play. You've already scored 4 runs. That would have been the 5th run. And you got to like the way the Astros, when they get somebody down, they like to kind of
step on.
Yeah, put the foot on the neck.
I agree with that. And people, you know, they're going to sit there and go, well, you got Altuve on deck and all that. But you know what? It's like you said. You know, we're rolling. Let's keep this train rolling. You know, and that happens. I mean, you have to catch the ball. He has to catch the ball, make a good throw, and the catcher has to catch it. So, you know, it happens. I mean, no matter what, we're still on 4-0. We're okay.
No third base coach is perfect.
No.
If you're going to be either over aggressive or too passive, I'll take over aggressive every day.
I would too.
And Gary Pettis has been very aggressive, and he sent out Altuve last year in a playoff game when Springer hit that double to right center that ended up walking it off against the Yankees. 4-0 Astros.
Customize a brick with a personal message that will line Champions Walkway at Minute Maid Park. For more details, visit astros.com/bricks today. Before today's game, Jeff Luhnow, AJ Hinch on the field to present Mike Fiers and Francisco Liriano with their World Series champions ring. They had to wait a long time for this one, but well worth it. Mike Fiers was so huge for that starting rotation last year when they suffered so many injuries earlier in the year. Francisco Liriano coming on late and helping this group out. You know what? Garrett Cole told me before the season started that when he was traded over the Astros, Francisco's one of the guys he called immediately, obviously with Charlie Morton, but Francisco and Garrett go way back to their Pirate days. But just trying to get as much information as he could about the Astros and what to expect when he walked in, and had heard so much about the analytics department. So he had a good idea by talking to not only Charlie, but Leary as well. Guys.
All right, Julia, we are off to the 3rd with Victor Reyes leading things off for the Tigers here in a 4-0 game.
Can Julia hear me?
Yeah.
Julia, what was that hot dog you ate down in Texas?
Hey, Baggy.
Have you seen the fast motion of it?
Yes, I've seen it.
Oh, wow.
I thought one of these days I was going to try to burn that video somehow. I thought we'd gotten rid of that, but it keeps popping up every year.
I am so sorry. Since Blummy's not here, I had to say something.
You know that happened.
Is that when the boomstick?
It was the boomstick, and it happened in 2014, and that video still gets replayed. I'm still burning off the calories.
Line drive to left. Tucker makes the play. Reyes retired for the first out.
So was it the hot dog or were the grasshoppers better?
Oh, I got to go hot dog.
I
never do the grasshoppers
I give
again.
you more credit for the grasshoppers.
We got to get you to try some now that you're in the booth.
And let me tell you something. If I was in Seattle, the entire starting lineup would have grasshoppers in front of them to eat before the game. That would be. It's got to do something like. It got to be some sort of luck.
Turn the season around.
Yeah.
Went from possibly below 500 for the first time all year to an incredible 101 win season.
Yep. We did that in Chicago with Menudo. Oh. Lance got like 2 homers and like 7 RBIs. So every time we went to Chicago, we had to have Menudo.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Oh, no.
Hey, we're a bunch of superstitious people around here. We'll do whatever it takes. Not us. It's got to be the Menudo.
That's right. Was that before or after the lip sync issue?
Right?
1-2 the count to Jacoby Jones.
Let's see if I can get Irma's Mexican to make me some Menudo. I'll bring it up here next time I come.
Jacoby Jones flying out to deep center field his first time up. Not many hard hit baseballs against Garrett Cole today. Jacoby, that first batter on the first pitch, was one of the few.
Yeah, that was over 100 miles an hour and had a hit probability to 85% and big old hang with him because he only got it. He went straight away center with it.
What did we talk about earlier?
Yeah.
I don't care how hard it is.
That's right.
Cole has struck out 3. He's allowed 1 hit and 1 walk.
That's just easy gas.
Even the follow through. There's just not. Here we go.
Oh, no. It lives.
Sorry,
That took several innings.
Well, I would hope
I know.
so.
I had to rest.
Wow. That's impressive.
We're going to put you in the hot dog eating contest next year.
No.
Yeah, right? What is hot dog? We didn't give $1 hot dogs here.
Tuesday nights.
Tuesday nights.
I'm good. I'm good for a long time after that one.
3-2 pitch is foul ball on the left side. Actually hits the rafters up there. Comes straight down.
There's the look.
There's the look.
That's about how I felt.
And what she's thinking about right there, she's going to have to run 10 miles tomorrow to get that hot dog off her.
Exactly what I'm thinking.
She felt like the color of her nail polish.
You and I would be just sitting down doing nothing.
I would be asleep.
Exactly.
That would be a food coma situation.
The 3-2 pitch doesn't miss by much. That's the second walk issued by Garrett.
It's a good take right there.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he didn't even flinch. Do you think that, Stan, when you go out there, a guy does this right here, doesn't even flinch? Oh, he did. Actually, his front side went a little bit. You go, well, how did he not flinch at that? Do you start thinking it's something with you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I'm sitting on the mound going, dude, you're not that good. Swing
Exactly. I was just wondering. The key, I used to watch Lance Berkman. Lance couldn't hit a good fastball in. So he continued to foul it off, and his technique was as soon as he fouled it off, he would grab the bat right where the middle of the bat where the trademark is.
Yeah.
So the catcher couldn't see the scuff mark on the trademark. He thought he fouled it off the barrel.
See how far he actually got in there?
Yeah. And then he threw him a changeup, and he hit it 7,000 feet.
Right. Well, I remember pitching to you guys. I really didn't. You guys were all, except for Lance, you were all free swingers.
Yeah.
So, the idea was you make your pitch, you get the hitters out. But Lance was the one guy that would sit up there and eagle-eye.
He had a good idea. Great hitter. Great person.
Jones on the move, steals the base without a throw. 8th steal of the year for Jacoby.
Garrett's not overly quick when he uses the leg kick, and that's just one of those situations. Jacoby guessed right, and Federowicz did the right thing, just put that one in his pocket.
Yeah, but see, he can get away with that, too, because he can strike guys out. Kind of like, as we talked about Nolan a little earlier. Nolan wasn't real happy when you stole on him. You'd probably get hit in the neck the next time up, but he had the ability to strike guys out.
Yeah, and don't square around a bunt.
No, right between your chest.
Garrett Cole making his final start before the All-Star break. This is his 20th start of the season. 3-2.
Those are good takes.
Marco Goodrum hitting .380 this month coming into today. And ball 4. A little 3-2 changeup it looked like.
Yeah.
This week on Astros Bases Loaded, we will recap Kyle Tucker's big league debut. Alex Bregman continues to shine with another improbable walk-off. Also, Tony Kemp tells us why it was better for him to roll the ball to first base instead of throwing it in Little League. The Astros also signed a lease to stay at Minute Maid Park through 2050. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded Friday at 6 o'clock, only on AT&T Sportsnet. A little meeting at the mound between Fedorovich and Cole after back-to-back walks.
You guys know, has anybody went over the limit yet at any team?
We got to 0 visits the other night.
The other night, I know that.
But
That
nobody.
was about the 8th, wasn't it? 7th or 8th?
It was late in the game. We still don't know what happens when you try and go out there with no visits.
So what were you guys talking about? Maybe the umpire tackling the guy?
Yeah, Hunter
right.
Wendelstedt was going to tackle him.
Oh, I don't. You can't get out there fast enough. I've been around long enough. Dad was an umpire when I was playing.
Harry, right?
Yeah.
Harry Wendelstedt.
Very nice man.
Yeah, Harry was awesome. Had a good zone, too.
For you.
Nicholas Castellanos.
People that are listening right now, you can understand now. I got the guy that's the second most appearances of all time and a hitter. So you're going to get difference of opinion. So it's up to you to decipher which one is which.
Never threw a pitch that I didn't think was a strike.
Exactly.
And back in the day, you guys were talking about National League and American League umpires. There was a different strike zone.
Oh, it's not even a question.
Well, I think that was one of the big reasons why the National League was known as the fastball league. The American League was known as the breaking ball league. But the reason why was because in the National League, you could get a fastball called for a strike. That was when I got traded to Boston in 1995. That was one of the first things that I realized was that plate doesn't have a corner. So now all of a sudden you have to throw more breaking
You're talking about
balls.
the American League.
The American League, yes.
Yeah, and you're right, because I went to Minnesota the first time I went to Minnesota, and Tim McClellan was behind home plate, and there was a lefty pitching for them, Milton. And
Eric Milton?
Yeah,
Milton.
he threw a pitch about 1.5 inches, 2 inches on the outside part of the plate, and I heard, ball. And I went, okay, no way. And then he threw another one out there, he went ball, and I went, oh my God, this is awesome. I hit one in the upper deck in right center there, the next pitch off of it. Hit a couple more. I said, man, give me some of this American League umpiring.
Big strikeout here for Garrett Cole, getting the best hitter for the Tigers, Castellanos, for the second out of the inning. Strikeout number 4.
Goes with the slider down and away, but the key to this was he had thrown some fastballs to Nick, and he was ahead in the count.
Yeah.
So now as a hitter, you kind of have to expand. You have to respect the fastball.
Yeah, because when you're respecting that fastball,
Right.
you start to get panicky. That's when you say you make competitive pitches, because now he's in defense. Now, the only thing that's changed maybe a little bit nowadays, nobody cares if you strike out. So the defense goes away a little bit.
Yeah, what I say, Jeff, the strikeout is a pitcher's stat now.
Yeah.
You know, it means more to the pitchers. That's something we talk about, Ks per 9,
Yeah.
strikeout to walk rate, that kind of stuff.
But
Yeah,
that 230 batting average means a heck of a lot to me.
But now you have MVPs striking out 180, 200 times.
That's true. Yeah, that whole thing has changed a lot. I just, for me, I can't, if I'm healthy and I hit like 230 or something, I can't live with myself like that. And I'm not saying anything against players nowadays. I'm certainly not saying that, because it's just different. But I just think if I look at our team last year, we led the league in hitting by at least 20 points, and we struck out the least amount. And we won the World Series.
Not a coincidence.
I don't think so.
Last 2 fastballs from Garrett have been 99 miles an hour, ahead 1 and 2 on Jim Adducci.
Yeah, he's had enough of this. He's reaching down to the bottom of the barrel, as Roy Oswald used to say.
Yeah, him and Justin both. They have that ability to grab that next gear.
Cole and Fedorovich haven't really worked much together. You can see Garrett going through with a runner on second base, trying to get to that shake-off sign a little quicker.
Yeah, he'll get a feel for that. What was that, slider?
Oh, nice play there in the
91.
first row. Glove.
It almost looked like a cutter.
Yeah.
with the glove, knocks it down, doesn't field it cleanly, but that was a line drive.
What's she got in her
Kept
hand?
it in front. Kept in front.
A little
Look, she
snack?
still gets it.
Is that a snack?
Yeah.
Didn't drop her ice cream sandwich.
Someone ready to play.
That had some hair on it, too.
Did.
That ball came in with some pace.
2-2 the count. Adducey batting in the cleanup spot for the first time in his career. Dad also played at the big league level. Foul tip, strikeout for Cole. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning. Strands 2 after a couple of walks. Four-time All-Star, first in 1994, then back-to-back 96, 97 for the fourth time in 99. Mentioned earlier, participated in the home run derby all 4 of those All-Star games. 94 numbers.
Goodness gracious.
I don't know who that guy is.
Hey, you do.
Yeah.
Right there.
That was a shortened season also.
Yuli deep to left field towards the Crawford boxes, and this ball is fair in the corner. Yuli with a leadoff double as the Astros threatening to add to this 4-0 lead with Yuli on second base and nobody out.
You guys seen his brother?
Lourdes.
Yeah, looks just like him.
Question is, can he hit like it? Elevated slider right there, a little bit out in front. So it's not a matter of where you hit it, it's how you hit it. Hit that ball hard enough to get it into the corner. He's just got such crazy plate coverage.
He does. Way outside, and he can bring his hands in as good as anybody. And the bat stays so long through there.
You know, he doesn't have the power, but he reminds me of Juan Gonzalez. Juan Gonzalez.
Oh, yeah, same thing. Yeah.
He could hit a ball 2.5 feet outside and still put the screws on.
For sure, Albert was like that too. It looked like Albert's bat head was going to touch the pitcher's forehead. That's how long it looked out there.
Yeah.
Juan was the same way. You're right. He had some power.
Yeah, you threw the ball 6 inches off the plate on the outside corner to Juan, off the.
Yuli's third in the league hitting inside pitches, and he's third in Major League Baseball, first in the league hitting inside pitches, and he's 8th in all of baseball hitting outside pitches.
That's unbelievable. That's called plate coverage.
Right?
Yes, it is.
And see, he does that when he manipulates his hand through the swing. The one away, he just stays long through. The other one, he just brings the barrel through this way.
And the thing is, it's such an unorthodox setup and swing path. I mean, it's not something that you would actually teach. Dude can just hit.
You know what? And that's a good point, Stan. I mean, if we could do it one way, we'd all be doing it.
Right.
You know, and that's what's special about Yuli. There's other guys like Altuve. You really wouldn't teach anything that he does. Well, put it this way, nobody can do what he does. But, you know, his bat head at times, you know, flutters through the strikes and all that. You know, if he swings at a bad pitch and he makes contact, he dribbles it down the third baseline. he hits balls that 8 guys are diving for, and then he'll go up on the train tracks. I mean, he's just special. And Yuli's like that too.
Well, both those guys you talk about as Reddick sends one to left field have not just good bat-to-ball abilities, their hand-eye coordination is at an elite level. Yuli and Altuve, you don't see this across the league from hardly anybody.
No, I would say Altuve has maybe even a little bit more than Yuli, just because he can do so many different things with the baseball.
This ball wasn't struck very far or on a line, but it found the right spot in the corner.
It's amazing how good hitters seem to find a way to do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and the one thing, you see the 11% probability. They don't take into account where the ball's going.
Right.
That's right.
315 feet anywhere in between the white lines is probably going to be an out, but you hit it right down the line. You can understand why that was a hit.
Gaddis pops one foul.
It's kind of hard to hit. It's weird to hit.
Well, we were talking about it in yesterday's broadcast, how if Altuve actually had a higher exit velocity, he actually wouldn't have as many hits.
You're right. I mean, you can throw out anything you want on Altuve. He's just different than anybody else.
Yep.
He just makes it work. The only guy that was close to that, to me, a little bit was Tony Gwynn. That everything he hit, no matter what happened, it was in the green grass in the outfield somehow.
I actually had pretty good numbers against Tony.
Did you?
And yeah, I threw a lot of pitches down the middle to him.
That's the key. Tell him it's coming right down the middle.
And
mess him up.
Yeah, because he was, he's an old school batting champion. I mean, he would have 650 at bats.
Oh yes.
He didn't walk at all. He didn't want to walk. But you throw the ball down the middle to him, he didn't know what to do with it. Did you put it on the outside corner, he in the opposite field. The inside corner, he'd spin on it.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do with it. Exactly right. People used to say, "Oh, tell him what's coming," and throw it right down the middle.
Foul tip caught by McCann. Gaddis goes down for the second out. What's funny about that, we were talking about Yuli being best in American League on inside pitches, top 10 in outside pitches as McCann holds on to this foul tip. Yuli is the 3rd worst in middle.
I saw that on a game you guys did. It was like right down the middle was like a red.
His
cold
blue zone,
yeah.
That's the blue zone.
middle.
And that's what you're just talking about. That's what you were just talking about with Tony.
It's a cherry covered donut. So you got the you got the red icing all the way around, and then the hole in the middle.
Yeah.
That's how you got Quinn out, huh?
Yeah.
Same way.
Middle.
Yeah, just be aggressive. Throw strikes.
Yeah, let him get himself out.
I think he was 1 for 11 or something like that.
Should hold on to that.
No kidding. Put that in writing and put it on the wall.
Yeah, no kidding.
Here's Marwin. Marwin batting with 2 outs and a runner on second. Opening double by Gurriel. He has stayed there on a fly out and a strikeout. 2 strikeouts now for Fulmer. And the count's 1-1. You guys matched up 9 times, we're told, by our statistician Phil Boudreau.
All right.
How did we do?
Pretty close.
I'll take
2
that.
for 6 with a double, 3 walks.
See that? Throw strikes to me. That's right. That would have been like 3 for 7.
Put the ball in the zone, meat.
I'll take that. I have no idea. All I know is I want to make a bet. I'll get my stance, and you get that leg kick. We'll see if we can do it right now in the hallway right now. Can either one of us get up tomorrow morning?
Me, the leg kick?
No chance.
I'll get it up there once.
But you ain't going to come down with it. You get it up and fall backward.
Back's blown out.
Exactly. My knees would fall off.
And just don't ask me to cover first.
Yeah, right.
Hall of Famer Jeff Bagwell along with Mike Stanton in the booth this afternoon. Astros and Tigers in a 4-0 game. This one a little bloop in the left, and Yuli around third is going to score. Marwin with an RBI on a little flare the other way.
I think the Astros did that especially for me because they know how I feel about exit velocity. We've got all our runs on no exit velocity except for Bregman.
That was in the right spot.
Yeah, there's something to be said about just putting the ball in play. You saw the 2-seam fastball off the outside corner. And Marwin just flicks it into left field, a little top spin lob action with some damage on it.
You literally would be running down first base laughing.
Yeah, and I'm standing on the mound.
Mad as heck. That's part of the reason why I'm laughing. I did that to Al Leiter one time.
Oh.
He sawed me off in half here,
it went like 3 miles an hour to the on the ground to right field, and he, you know, Al's jumping around on the mound going crazy. Nobody could get to it, and I'm laughing though. And I got 2 RBIs on it. He was so mad. All right, kid's gonna do something right here.
Feel it?
Yeah.
I like it. You're gonna love this bagger. That last base hit by Marwin, 60.8 miles an hour off the bat.
Exactly.
That's right. In the sweet zone. Perfectly placed.
Exactly right.
5-0.
What was the hit probability on that one? Probably pretty good.
32.
Oh, 32.
Only because it was one of those little
Yeah.
distances and flares.
32, and then the one down the line from
11.
11%. It's all about the distance.
yes. So.
They figure because of it's not going to quite get to the outfielder
Yeah.
Yeah.
with that launch angle and exit velocity. 2-1 the count to Tucker.
Well, when he hit it, I knew it was 100% hit probability, and I'm not a computer.
Tucker walked his first time on a pitch very similar to that.
He's out on that one too.
Fulmer not happy.
Oh,
That's a perfect pitch.
that is a pitcher's pitch.
Yes, it
He has not been getting the edges today.
is. Do you think that
Especially
is,
across the bottom.
Yep.
do you think that is because he's not hitting location as much that it ruins the umpire kind of?
We'll talk about that the next half inning on the pop-up to the shortstop. Iglesias puts it away. The Astros tack on another run. They've scored in every inning and lead it 5-0.
Springer for best championship performance in Game 5 of the World Series as best game. There are only a few more days to vote, so vote for them now at ESPN.com/ESPYs. TK?
Yeah, we're hearing some of those guys may be out there for the ESPYs over on the West Coast during the All-Star break. Victor Martinez will lead things off in the 4th inning. 5-0 game. Garrett Cole working with a nice lead.
So they're going to spend the All-Star break on the red carpet, huh?
Some of those guys will be both DC and then heading out to California after the All-Star game.
Rock stars, man.
Yeah. It's nice to be the
tough.
Kings.
It's tough being a rock star, though. Only certain people can do it.
Like the fact that it's now 4 days. It used to be 3.
Yeah.
That used to be a little short, especially if you participated in the game.
One time in my career did I have a 4-day break. That was second or third to last year. There were a few teams along the way that did have them.
Yeah.
Beautiful breaking ball for a strike. High pop up. Gurriel and Altuve, Yuli in foul territory.
I don't even remember that. I don't even remember we had. I thought we always played on Friday.
Oh no, we usually play Thursday.
Yeah, coming out of the break is usually just a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Could be.
By the way, did you just see Yuli call a pop-up?
Yeah, how about that?
He doesn't catch pop-ups?
Altuve eats a ball hog.
Oh.
Altuve usually calls them all off.
Anything on this side of the field, which is the whole field, Altuve's going to catch.
I'm okay with that. Although if he keeps making errors, he's going to be a DH. Just kidding.
Breaking news.
I was going to tell him that in the clubhouse today, but see how he took it.
Here's James McCann. Pitch away for a ball.
I'll tell you, to be honest with you, though, man, when you start making errors, you do think a little bit about it.
Oh, sure. It's a mental game.
Yeah. I don't care what anybody says.
Doesn't matter how good you are.
No.
What kind of accolades or trophies you have.
No. I had it.
You can get in a fielding slump.
Oh, let me tell you, I was in spring training. Larry Durger was our manager. It was like our second game. We're playing Detroit, in Detroit, which was Lakeland. The first two balls that were hit to me, this is the first inning. I missed. Hit me another one, missed that too, and threw the ball away. So I should have had 2 errors on that. First inning, I walked in and said, Dirk, get me out of here. I don't need this right now. I don't want to see the ball come to me. Nothing.
Did he take you out?
No.
Of course not.
I was in Lakeland. We didn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah, where were you going to go?
Yeah.
You had to wait around anyhow.
Yeah.
One pitch swing and a miss.
But sir, you do start thinking about that a little bit. You know.
Yeah, and that's what, you know, this is a mental game. I know we're on the field and we talk about mechanics and everything, but if you don't have it between the ears, and listen, it's not when you're good, it's when you're bad.
Right.
That's when you have to be the most mentally tough.
It's easy when you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I saw him last night when he made that error. He was so upset.
He wears it.
He was on fire. Yeah. He's a great defensive second baseman. I love the joke with these guys, just to do their temperature every once in a while, see where they're at. Unlike what's his name doing for the Cardinals. Bud Norris is getting on the kid.
Oh yeah.
That's an interesting one.
Jordan Hicks.
Fastball in the up. Ooh.
Garrett wants that. Both starting pitchers are not thrilled with the strike zone today.
See those pitches, that pitch right there as a hitter, there is absolutely nothing you can do with that pitch. And if they call that for a strike, you're in trouble. I see a lot of times they're doing backdoor breaking balls that end up there.
Yeah.
I mean, your first thought as soon as it comes out of his hand is no.
Yeah, it's off the plate.
Yeah. And then it's like up by the oxy sign up there.
Right.
And then they just called it a strike. You're like, where am I going from there? You want to talk about having to be mentally strong after that.
Right. You know, Jeff, I had, as you well know, I had a big curveball. It was slow. And I would get that ball that was caught like right at the catcher's chin. They would call the curveball a strike. And I'm out there on the mound going, that's not a strike. I don't even want that called a strike.
If I swing at it, that's a bad thing.
But if I would throw the fastball right at the mask, they call that a ball high. Makes no sense at all.
Nope.
See, to me, I want you to throw that curveball up there.
I know you do.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't want it called for a strike.
Right. Yeah. Don't make me feel good about myself that I think I can throw it up there.
Garrett with 4 walks today, one off his career high. Walked 5 Tampa Bay Rays earlier this season.
I don't know about you guys. I mean, I do watch a lot of baseball games, but when Garrett starts to walk guys and all that, they don't feel like they're like crazy walks.
No.
Yeah,
like
he's not
close.
throwing the ball all over.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Now the stuff, he hasn't been quite as sharp lately as he was early in the season. But I understand what you said earlier, competitive pitches.
Yeah.
He's
walking guys still with competitive pitches.
Right.
His last 3 walks have been on 3-2 pitches, and there was probably a close ball in there in all 3 of those situations. Jamer Candelario fouls one away. He walked his first time up. Pitching with a big lead is something that Garrett Cole's getting used to with the Astros, because he's had a few of those to work with this year.
And I'm sure that's sometimes frustrating too, because if you got a big lead, you just want to get after some dudes.
Well, it's the long inning in between.
Yeah.
You know, the lead itself, with a nice fastball down the middle to get Candelario.
I guess you're talking about like the feel for the inning after coming and waiting for a while.
Yeah, that was the 4-seam fastball. You see him swing underneath the ball. And that's why Brent Strom has these guys throwing that four-seam fastball to get that ride. And I think that's one of the reasons why last year he was throwing two-seam fastballs and the ball would actually fall into the bat path.
It does.
Yeah.
Unless
So what I
it's
was saying
trouble.
was the in between innings, you have those long innings where you're sitting on the bench and you can kind of lose that edge. That's why when you get a guy that has a big lead, you know, they actually would rather you hitters make some outs. We got a lead now. Let's make some outs so I can get back out there and stay in a groove. Of course, you know, you'll take as many runs as you can get, but you know, there's something to be said about that time you spend on the bench in between innings, how that can affect you mentally.
Let's get this real straight right off the get-go here. When I'm up and you're having to wait in there, I really don't care that you're getting uncomfortable there.
Didn't think you did. Did not think you did.
I'm trying to get some hits, some homers.
That's right.
First inning was an 11-minute inning for the Astros.
Wait till Auspice gets up. He'll make the out. Don't worry about it.
We're through 3.5 on the ground ball out to end the inning. 5-0 Stros.
Available now for kids 12 and under. Buddies members receive 4 tickets to an Astros regular season game, a backpack, cap, socks, and exclusive opportunities throughout the year for only $25 plus tax. Visit Astros.com/buddies today to sign up. TK.
All right, Julia, bottom of the 4th, 5-0 game. Tim Fedorovich leads things off for the Astros. Fedorovich then the top of the order, George Springer and Alex Bregman. Michael Fulmer, 25-year-old right-hander, has allowed 2 in the first, 2 in the second, and another in the third.
I still think we need to cut him in half and count the rings for him to be 25 years old.
Fulmer?
Yeah. He looks 35 if he's a day.
I think I'm with you on that, I think,
Rookie of the Year a couple of years ago. Justin Verlander kind of took him under his wing. And they were teammates in Detroit as Fedorovich flies out to right for the first out of the 4th.
Yeah, the Astros have handled him pretty well, but this is a guy's got big stuff. Yeah, he's had a hot and cold season, but when you can throw a fastball and carry that velocity, we get spoiled because we got a rotation full of guys that can carry velocity, but that's not something that just everybody can do.
No. What was he? 95, 96? Did he get 6th this year?
Yep.
I mean, this game? He's
been up to 7, I think.
Oh, that'll work.
There's 97, base hit into the right field. George with back-to-back base hits. Also lined out his first time up.
Yeah, it's good stuff. We get him going in the right direction, and I'm not just, you have 2 more games, but mentally that'll really, really help him. He'll go to the All-Star game feeling good about himself. That'll be great.
It's a long season. There are so many ebbs and flows.
Yeah, it is tough to maintain it for six months, I tell you.
Well, we talk all the time about consistency.
Yeah.
There's really no such thing. Because
there's
going to be times that you don't put good swings on the ball and you're getting results, and then everything's great. And then there's going to be times that you don't put good swings, or you do put good swings on the ball. You hit line drives, and now you're in a slump.
Yeah, I mean, when you see the upper echelon guys, generally those guys are, like Altuve. His slump is 3 games. Like, we freak out and everybody's going crazy. He's 0 for his last 11. Then he goes on and gets what? 10 for, what do you go, 11 for 11?
10 for 10.
10 for 10. I mean, come on, who does that?
Nobody.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the other guys, you really have to battle through those slumps. However it takes, it's 3 balls is killing them.
Double play turned by the Tigers as Bregman hits it hard. Short hop by Candelario, and they turn 2 on him. So tough luck there. Still 5-0 Astros. You'll save even more when you buy the whole room, and delivery is fast and easy. And by Nissan, innovation that excites. We head to the 5th inning in a 5-0 game. Todd Callis, Jeff Bagwell, Mike Stanton, Julian Morales. Glad you could join us on this Saturday afternoon. The Astros trying to finish strong going into the All-Star break. Wrapping up with 20 out of 26 at home, including this, the longest homestand of the year. They're 6-3 so far in the first 9 games on this homestand. Tigers, on the other hand, have lost 19 of 23 coming in. This stretch started when they were just 1 game below 500. That is a tough stretch when you know the All-Star break is looming and your team's not playing well and you're facing the defending world champions.
All you think you're trying to do is get to the break. That's the only thing you care about. Get me out of here. Give me a couple walks, maybe hit by pitch and a flare, and get me to the beach or somewhere.
Yeah, every year there are teams that really don't want the All-Star break to happen because they're playing so well. Things are on a roll, and then there's teams like this that they just can't come quick enough.
Garrett Cole making quick work of Victor Reyes.
Nice little breaking ball after throwing a bunch of fastballs, and this was actually the curveball. You saw the finger that was folded up. That's the index finger. Doesn't throw a whole lot of curveballs, but
did you do that?
I did not. I had short, fat fingers. I still have short, fat fingers.
You do. Congratulations.
They didn't get longer as I got older. Yeah, so I wasn't able to do that. Just wasn't comfortable. Now, what I did do, so this is the curveball that Cole, and you see they call it a spike curveball, right. Knuckle curve. What I did was, instead of doing that, I just picked up my index finger. So I threw my curveball like that. And really what it does is it allows the ball to come off the middle finger, the inside of the middle finger.
Because yours was a straight curveball.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It comes off, but it's just a different way of holding the pitch.
1-2 pitch is a ball. It's 2-2.
See, as a hitter too, though, if a guy has his finger up or the finger comes up, you can see that.
You can.
I mean, you know, I remember Eric Gagne.
Oh yeah.
He threw like $1 billion.
Uh-huh.
But when he threw his breaking ball, his finger was
Way
straight
up
in the air, and I'm like, okay, but then still I couldn't hit it anyway. And he threw that change.
Well, yeah, you had to be ready for 98.
When would you be able to pick that up?
As soon as he gets up to here.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, he really slowed down on his curveball also. But mine, all I did was I just picked up the tip of my finger. So I was like that.
Yeah, so you can't
but
see.
Gagne was like this.
Way up.
And with slowing down, and you might not necessarily be able to see the finger, you just see something different.
Yeah. And even like when you're on second base, you get guys that throw the knuckle curve like that. For one, you can run on that. If I see a dude going like that, I'm running because that's going to be in the dirt generally, and it's going to be slower. Those are little things you got to pick up on bases when you can see that when a guy's got that finger up. Like, well, it's obviously throwing a curveball.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It's the little things, fellas. It's the little things.
Cole's up to 8 strikeouts
When
now.
you're slow. Well, too, he doesn't have to worry about that. I do.
Well, we talked about this on a previous broadcast.
I don't listen to that. He was faster than
Right.
he claims.
But Josh Reddick becoming one of the better
He is.
base runners on this team, not because of his speed, but because he does things the right way when he's on the base.
He has good turns. He cuts the angles real well. And I make a point to tell Josh that every time I see him.
Good inning for Garrett Cole. A couple of strikeouts and a comebacker. 5-0 Astros.
Who is your Astros first half pitching MVP? Justin Verlander gets the win with 37%. He had a ton of votes. Thank you for voting. Thanks for following at ATT Sportsnet SW. TK.
Good representation for all 4 of them.
Look at Colin McHugh getting some love.
Proud of him, man.
What a transition that's been.
He's done great.
It has been crazy with what he's done. Most people don't understand how difficult it is. Start off with he's in a position he doesn't want to be in.
Right.
He wants to be in the rotation.
Number 1.
But then to go out there and command his off-speed stuff the way he has, with not knowing when he's going to pitch day to day, even week to week.
Yeah. It's incredible. That's another one. Whenever I see him, I make sure I tell him, man. I said, that's a great job, man. That is, the quintessential team player. He can pout. Some guys do that, but he's been great. I mean, he's helped us out immensely.
Now AJ is using him some high leverage
Yeah,
spots.
why not? He throws strikes. with stuff.
He's been getting a lot of strikeouts, too.
That's the part very interesting to me.
Well, it's the command of the two breaking balls. You know, the curveball and the cutter. And then, you know, the fastball, you guys have talked about it, how, you know, it's ticked up just a little bit, but it's still, you know, he's ahead to count. And what makes that so effective is you don't strike hitters out with strikes. You have to be ahead in the count, and then you make things appear like strikes.
Well, it goes back to what we talked about earlier. Competitive pitchers. He throws a ton of them. Every single one of them you have to flinch. It was just a little bit with quality break. There's got to be some deception there, too, in his fastball somewhere.
You know, he's got a pretty smooth delivery.
Yeah.
But he also opens up just a little bit. So he kind of goes towards that first base on deck circle just a touch. And some of the stuff that I wasn't a hitter, but I've heard about the hitters, a lot of it is, you know, you kind of feel what's happening. You know, the game's happening at a very quick, but he kind of has a little bit of deception because he's not coming straight to you.
Yeah, it has to be. I don't know, and that's part of the thing. You have to be in a box to understand that.
Right.
Some guys fly open and you see the ball longer.
Yes.
Because it's open. And some guys don't. Then you face guys, I don't know how Fulmer is, but he's a wide guy. Guys like Carlos Zambrano. You know, it's like it came out of his shoulder.
Right. He kind of got a short arm delivery. He doesn't have that. The ball's not way far away from its head.
Yeah. Yeah, there's guys that throw 100 that, you know, you see and it's like 94.
Right.
And then you guys that throw 94. I think Verlander's a little bit. He throws 96, 97. And I think it's more like 99, 100 almost. Because guys just don't hit it.
3-2 pitch towards the middle. Iglesias, a smooth fielding shortstop, makes the play to get out Tuve.
He can field out there. Iglesias can catch the throw.
I missed him the last couple of days. Did not play in the opener of this game. Hadn't played since Tuesday after being hit by a pitch.
He went to the Tigers from Boston. And he was supposed to be the shortstop of the future for Boston. All glove. And that's why Boston let him go. They didn't think he was going to hit. Then he goes over. He's actually had several pretty good seasons, but he is a wizard with the glove. He's one of those guys that can throw from any position. Just does an incredible job defensively when he's out there.
He made a play the other day. I don't know if it was against us. For some reason, I was watching the Tigers. It must have been. He made a play. He like caught it and it was gone.
Right.
And I don't even know where it came from.
Yeah, it's like the ball never touched his glove.
It was incredible.
First ball was in the strike zone. The second one could have been called a strike 2. Instead it's 2-0.
Yeah, sometimes the umpires get blocked by the catchers. Other times you got to remember where the catcher sets up is a mere suggestion. The strike zone is the strike zone. And you saw that pitch. Now the catcher had to reach back across his body to make the catch.
Coming from a pitcher again.
That's
just want to make sure. Look at this.
Yuli hits it hard, but at the second baseman, Nico Goodrum for the second out.
No, but Mike's right, and that's what I was talking about with Fulmer. A lot of the times he's not getting some of these pitches because the umpire sees it on one side. He doesn't see it where it actually is in the plate. So if the catcher has to reach across, it's a strike, but to his eye in that quick second, it must be a ball.
Right. Yeah, McCann had set up on the inside part of the plate, threw the ball out away from him.
In the first one of that sequence, McCann just took off the plate. He didn't frame that first one up at all. Here's Josh Reddick taking a called strike.
Josh has got a good idea of strike zone, too.
Yep.
And he has that, like, something that I never had in my career, the ability to actually smash the catcher with your bat as you're swinging.
Did you have any catcher's interferences?
Never.
No?
I wish I knew that. I really did.
Figure out how to do it?
Yeah.
Go in the cage and practice?
Okay, this is the time that I'm going to do it right here because I got no chance of hitting this guy.
So just go after the glove?
Whap him right there by the back of the neck. Oh. That's an art, man.
Yeah.
You got to use those kind of things.
The ball's hit down the line. Got a chance. Josh Reddick. Home run. Home run number 9 for Reddick. And the Astros add to their lead at 6-0.
So Josh gets a breaking ball You see McCann set up inside, didn't quite get it in there. Josh just drops the barrel on the pitch. You can see out in front just a little bit, but another batter with hitter that's got nice extension out front is able to catch that ball on the screws. And as strong as Josh Reddick is, that's all you got to do. Get it in the air, it'll go.
A couple more hits for Reddick, who always hits well at home.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
One of the few guys who has hit better at home than on the road over the last couple of years.
I don't understand that.
You mentioned when things aren't going well, you start your at bat 0-2, and it seems that way for Evan Gattis lately.
It is, and you know, it's just part of the process. You just got to sit in there and battle. You know, because he'll come out of it. I mean, you got to remember he went from awful to like unbelievable, but now you just kind of find something in between there. Where when you do go in these things, what do you look for? And the problem is sometimes when you go in slumps, you know, obviously there's a lot of analytic stuff going on. You have your stuff. When you're going bad, then they give you more stuff. Like there's more stuff to think about when it should be the total opposite.
Right.
Take it away.
Clearing your head.
I played with Lonnie Smith. Now Lonnie Smith for a long portion of his career was, you know, a speed guy. Towards the end, dude could really hit. Actually almost won a batting title with Atlanta. His approach to a slump was he didn't hit at all.
No.
Because he didn't want to overwork. He didn't take batting practice. If he did, it was a couple swings off the tee because he didn't want to overthink things.
Yogi Berra, favorite thing, keep it simple, stupid.
That's right. Kiss method.
Oops.
That ball's hit deep to left field, and that ball's gone. Back-to-back jacks for the Astros. That looked like a better advantage to being down 0-2.
That's what I'm saying. Can change in a heartbeat. Throw it at his beard, from a beard. The bigger beard won.
You remember one of the first at-bats, or first few at-bats, Evan Gattis as an Astro. He was swinging at everything, and he swung at a pitch one time that was literally over his head.
Hit it.
Well, he didn't hit that one, but he did late. He did a little bit after that, and he loves the ball up in the zone.
Well, it looked, no, so do I. I just couldn't hit it.
Hugs for homers.
There it is.
And the formal handshake from Josh Reddick before he got to the dugout.
Nothing against Gattis hitting home runs, but I like it the other way around.
Oh, yeah. It's a better look.
Tough day for Fulmer. He'll leave after 4 2/3, down 7-0. The last batter he faced, Evan Gattis.
This was a high changeup. Was supposed to be down and away. He throws it up and into Evan Gattis. Does a nice job of keeping the hands inside so he doesn't hook it foul. But my goodness, does he make good passes at balls that are up in the zone.
Gattis hitting his 19th home run of the year. And the two guys have a little business meeting handshake at the entrance to the dugout, Josh Reddick and Evan Gaddis.
Yeah, that was very formal.
That was extremely formal. It's a foul ball out of play. Last time the Astros hit back-to-back home runs, they went 3 straight. Springer, Bregman, and Altuve against the Rays.
So are you making a call?
No, I wasn't actually. But hey, Marwin doesn't have one right-handed, so why not?
Well, that means he's due.
He is due. Facing a new lefty for the Tigers, Daniel Stump.
Actually, it's Blaine Hardy,
Blaine
is
Hardy's
on the mound. The 31-year-old left-hander. Here's your hugs for homers. You know, he jumps on Gaddis. Gaddis doesn't even move.
No, but he doesn't feel it. I mean, seriously. Like just being home and a fly jumps on top of you.
That's right. All right, so Blaine Hardy, 4-seam fastball, slider, curve. Doesn't throw very hard. Throws a lot of sliders, especially the left-handers. So we'll have to see. Going to throw that curveball changeup combination to your righties.
Up the middle, Nico Goodrum is there and makes the play for the final out.
Well, here we go. The home runs. The Astros go back-to-back. Josh Reddick with the breaking ball. Evan Gaddis with the changeup. Gotta like when the boys are driving the balls out of the ballpark.
For the biggest baseball fan in the Southwest, Louisiana, July is your month. Use the hashtag UltimateSWFanLA on Twitter and show us why you're the ultimate fan, and you could win a jersey and a VIP experience. Watch the Astros all season long on their TV home, AT&T Sportsnet. TK.
All right, Julia, 6th inning baseball, 7-0 Astros, a season-high 10 hits allowed and a season-high 7 earned runs allowed by Michael Fulmer. Now Garrett Cole with a pitch count approaching 100. Facing the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, Nicholas Castellanos, Jim Aducci, and Victor Martinez. So far, 8 strikeouts for Garrett. He's allowed just 1 Tigers hit. He has walked 4 batters today. Baggy, when the Astros made that deal with the Pirates in the offseason, everybody knew they were getting a pretty talented arm. Not sure if they knew how talented an arm. This guy has been something special, Garrett Cole.
Yeah, he has. I mean, I think we knew a little bit. I mean, I think they were talking about Darvish for a little bit and Garrett. But Garrett, he makes so much sense for our ball club. He's been healthy. There's just something about him that, you know, there's stuff in his mechanics, and obviously Mike could talk more about that, that it just seems like it's a delivery that you can work with.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of moving parts.
Right.
I mean, he just kind of picks up his leg, the hands go down, he separates, he's pretty good with his direction. But I think the reason they put the crosshairs on Cole was because they know that he had the ability to throw the 4-seamer.
Oh, yeah, he was throwing 96, 97 there, too.
And, you know, where he was doing mostly 2-seam fastballs as a Pirate and giving up a lot of home runs, turn that over, throw the four-seamer, let it ride, let the guy swing and let the hitter swing and miss, ball under the bat underneath the ball. And I think that's what I don't think the stuff is any different.
No.
I think this is the same thing you saw in Pittsburgh. He just has a different overall approach to how he's going about getting hitters
the
out.
The two-seamer is going to be more to contact.
Right.
Right? So his four-seamer up is going to be, it can be swung and missed, and it can be foul balls. They can get you into a pitcher's count where he can do stuff with his secondary stuff.
Yeah, so he was mostly two-seam fastball, sinker slider as a Pirate and had some success. But with how the approach of major league hitters are, and I'm going to make a general statement here, of how everyone wants to drop the barrel of the bat now, the ball would fall into the bat path.
Yes.
And now what he's doing is he's letting that four-seamer ride.
Fly ball hit into center field. Springer's been tracking some ground out there the last couple of batters as he puts this one away. Martinez retired for the second out. Bringing his best is brought to you by Old Dominion. Good start to this series with Dallas Keuchel yesterday going 6 shutout innings, and in July he has been really good.
Yeah, he's been outstanding, and what he's been doing is actually what we were talking about Garrett Cole was doing last year. He has started to trust his sinking fastball and his changeup again, and he's really dominated some right-handed hitters. Still a lot of weak contact, but not trying to establish inside the righties as much, and he's getting much better results.
Yeah, and I agree. I think last night was his best changeup sinker since he's the last 4 or 5 outings.
Yeah.
And it goes back to, you know, you get these hitters when everybody's trying to leave the ballpark, you throw a changeup at 83, 82 out there, or a two-seamer at 88. Right-handed hitters can't do it.
They're just trying to hook it.
There is only certain dudes that are going to do it, and generally what they're going to do is going to hit a base hit to right. So if you do that and you got everybody on that side of the infield, good luck.
Yeah, he threw about 2/3 of the pitches last night were two-seam fastball, changeup.
That changeup had really good lateral movement.
Yeah. It did.
And I thought
good news for us.
I thought that especially some of the games, the Toronto game, he gave up 6 in the first, and a few games before that, he had pounded right-handers in so much that he actually lost the release point on the two-seam fastball and changeup.
Of course. It's, you know, that happens with any pitcher. If you continue to do the same thing like that, you're going to lose feel for the other pitch that you normally use.
McCann down the line. The throw coming in from Marwin. Castellanos scores the first run for the Tigers on the RBI double by James McCann. So the Tigers score their first run of this series. It's now a 7-1 game. That would be the last batter Garrett Cole will face. He's a little frustrated. That wasn't crushed, but in the right spot.
Yeah, this was a curveball that kind of hung on the inside part of the plate, and all McCann had to do was kind of spin on it, get the barrel of the bat out. Didn't hit it great, but got it down there into the corner.
Standing ovation for Garrett Cole on his way out in this 7-1 game.
offers fans a variety of premium seating opportunities, including club and suite level seats for any group size. Visit astros.com/suites or call 1-877-9-ASTROS to reserve your luxury suite today. TK.
All right, Julia, new pitcher for the Astros with a runner on second base and 2 outs is Joe Smith.
All right, Joe Smith, the 34-year-old sidearm right-hander, in for his 29th game of the season. It's going to be, upper 80s with the fastball. He's got the sweeping slider, usually in there for right-handers.
Facing a switch hitter in Jamer Candelario, bats left-handed. 107 pitches today for Garrett Cole, 5 2/3 innings, allows 3 hits, 2 of them this inning. Garrett walked 4 and he struck out 8. There's a called strike. It's 1-1.
Why it seems harder than 88.
I think it's just the delivery.
Yeah,
I think it's
it must
just,
be.
the sidearm delivery. The ball kind of comes out of the grass,
Yeah,
especially when he throws it up there. That's got that fast pitch softball upshoot on it.
Upshoot. I don't think I'd enjoy this facing this either. This is where I try and get a walk. Show the back of my jersey.
Foul off a few.
And you can do the same thing everybody else did. Now just get in there, take your punishment like a man.
You can see Candelario right there trying to inside out that ball, let the ball bat drag through the zone.
I think it doesn't seem like his fastball sinks though, does it?
Well, the one he just threw up was a four-seamer. Now he does throw the little two-seamer, and there's the slider. And that's the pitch that against left-handers he can really get in trouble with, because that pitch with the sidearm delivery has a tendency to stay on the same plane.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like in my opinion, it'd be like a one-trick pony there. You don't want to do it.
Oh, just go in there one time.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. I just think, man, if you throw some sort of two-seamer out there, man, it's hard to elevate that ball. Left-handed right here.
Mm-hmm. Lefty's hitting less than 200 against Joe this year. 192 coming in. And a pop-up on the infield. Marwin and Alex are over there. It's Gonzalez who will take the play for the final out of the inning. The 1-run scores. It's a 7-1 game headed to the bottom of the 6th. from iTunes or Google Play, or go to attsportsnet.com to stream from your computer. Log in with your cable account information and you are all set. Available to customers whose TV subscription includes AT&T Sportsnet. Subject to blackouts, territorial restrictions do apply. Kyle Tucker leading off the bottom half of the 6th inning. A walk and a pop-up in this game. Tucker playing his 8th major league game. The 21-year-old 4 for 24 so far. No batting gloves, but as we mentioned last night, goes down to that dirt after every pitch.
I don't know how they do it. I really don't.
Well, one thing, he's got the tape on the handle, so that does help. Yeah, even the few at-bats that I got, if I didn't have batting glove, the bat's going. It's got the helicopter.
Oh, yeah, I got no chance. I'm swinging a golf club without a golf club. I can't do it.
Right.
Especially on a warm day, you would think that would be problematic. Not that it's warm here. But he and Evan Gaddis.
Yeah,
just
look at Gadd. I mean, Gadd's ridiculous. I mean, nothing. Nothing.
No pine
no
tar.
pine tar. Nothing. Even the lumber he uses doesn't look good.
I couldn't throw a baseball without pine tar.
Yeah, we know that. Okay, so let's get this out in the open here, the pine tar deal again. So obviously, Mr. Stanton.
That's called setting him up.
Yes. Mr. Stanton has made it very well known that he used pine tar.
Yes, every day.
Mr. Blum was on the air the other day showing his old faithful 9-year-old glove, which had pine tar everywhere in it. When he said he used to get the ball back and rub the pine tar on the baseball and throw it back to the pitcher. We use pine tar. Everybody uses pine tar. Don't worry about it. It doesn't make anybody better. It's just to hold on to the ball. So don't worry about that. That issue is over. And thank you, Mike, for setting me up. For
you are
so
welcome.
So now it's over. We got a pitcher and we got a hitter. We all use pine tar.
And everybody's fine with it.
I'm good with it.
As long as you don't have a big lob on your neck.
Yeah, I mean, let's not be crazy about it.
Who was that, Michael Pineda?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody was convinced that Maddox had something inside his lip.
Now that's different.
That is different.
That's called loading the ball.
I am not saying that Greg Maddox had that, just in case you want. But loading the ball is different.
It's
because
different
it makes
than
the ball
pine tar.
do something that it normally would not do.
What I usually say, it makes the ball do something extraordinary, something that I can't naturally make it do. The pine tar, all it did was help my grip. It didn't increase spin rate.
Right. And that's
Okay.
what everybody said. There's somebody in Cleveland. I'm not so sure who that guy named Bauer
Is it All-Star?
Yeah. I don't see how that can happen either. But I'm all for a pitcher using pine tar if he knows where the ball's going. It doesn't bother me one bit.
Especially when it's cold. And that's what most hitters would tell you. I want him to know where the ball's going.
I agree.
Now, the idea of loading the ball, which is putting something slick on the ball, it actually takes off rotation.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the ball act the way it does.
Almost like a knuckleball. That's weird. And you know it when you see it. I remember Darryl Kyle one time. This is not that. He threw a ball to me at first base, and it literally had a slice an inch long and probably a quarter-inch deep in it. And I looked at the ball, and I looked at him, and he was smiling from ear to ear. But in typical Darryl fashion, I threw it back to him, and he threw the next pitch in candlestick to the backstop. And I was like, right, way to go, man. Way to use that thing the way you're supposed to use
Well,
it.
you know, when I would get a scuffed ball, I couldn't use it because I would think about it. I couldn't throw it for a strike.
Right, you have to know how to use it if you have it.
It's a changeup to Fedorowicz. Pretty nice little pitch, nice fade, nice speed differential off the fastball from Hardy for the strikeout for Tim.
It's hard to get a scuff ball nowadays.
Well, yeah,
They throw every ball out.
It's unbelievable.
Every
And they-
ball except for the one that put in play.
Right. And then they put a sticker on it and all that kind of stuff. They sell it. I
A
mean,
little hologram.
yeah.
So I would get a scuffed ball, and I knew where to put it to make it do what it was supposed to do, but I would think about it, could never throw it for a strike. Except for one time in Atlanta. I got a scuffed ball. I actually pitched the whole inning with one baseball, which that is unheard of. And when I threw the first one, I was shocked that the hitter didn't say, check that ball.
Really?
Because it was hard. It was a regular fastball.
and it moved like 18 inches.
Really?
And I'm like, the hitter, I'm like, is he even paying attention here?
Well, no. I mean, we know if you're facing the Braves pitching staff. I mean, they pretty much the strike zone is pretty much from the left side of the batter's box to the other right side of the far one.
After dealing with that all these years, are you now able to be friendly when you see them in Cooperstown?
Yeah, I'm in Cooperstown, so yeah, I'm friendly. I'm perfectly fine.
That'll be in a couple of weekends from now.
Yeah, it will be, yes. So I got no problem with that.
Do they admit that they had?
No.
Never.
Well, I mean, let's give them. I mean, let's be realistic now. These guys are some of the greatest that ever did it. But when they did it, not talking about the movement and getting the ball off the plate for umpires to call it. They were good enough to throw it there, and if they got it, they tried another inch off the plate. If they got that, they went another inch. They knew how to throw it and where to throw it. That was the most impressive thing with them.
Yeah, they had to hit the spot.
And they did.
Lane Hardy with a 1-2-3 inning as he gets Springer to ground out to end the 6th. We head to the 7th in a 7-1 game.
Take a second, then tweet us your best guess at ATT Sports NSW. Family Affair All-Star 95 home runs with the Astros. Those are your 3 clues. We will tell you who wins or who it is later in the broadcast. Everyone's a winner. Okay.
Some changes here, Julia. Defensively for the Astros, Tyler White enters the game. He takes over at first base. That moves Yuli from first to third. Alex Bregman from third to short, and Marwin Gonzalez from short to second. And the new pitcher with Tyler White manning first is Chris Davinsky.
All right, Chris Davinsky, the 27-year-old right-hander, is making his team-tying 40th appearance. It's had a little bit of a tough go as of late. Last time out, got the loss and the blown save against Oakland, giving up a 3 spot in just a third of an inning, giving up 4 hits.
1-0 pitch sent to center field. George Springer puts it away. Iglesias retired for the first out of the 7th.
You know what I love about Devo, though, and I always have? He doesn't care. He's just out there. I mean, he cares about what he's doing, but he's not scared. I guarantee you, no matter what, he'll take the ball any day and he'll give you everything he's got.
Yeah, he's kind of got a kind of little old school reliever mentality. Your little Goose Gossage in him. Now, completely different arsenal, but still ultra aggressive in the zone with that fastball and changeup combination.
Yeah. He is a workout rat. No one will outwork Chris Davinsky.
He's one of my favorites. He really is. I love him, everything he brings to the team. I think the only time Devo gets in a little bit of trouble, and Mike can tell you, he can fly open too.
Well, he does it naturally.
Yeah,
and what that means is, so
that's why his changeup goes way down.
He comes towards that first base on deck circle even with his stride. And what's remarkable is most guys that do that don't last very long.
Right.
They get hurt. They can't throw strikes.
Yeah, because it's got to take a toll on your shoulder, you would think.
But he's always done this.
Yeah.
I even asked him. He goes, "No, this is just how I throw." You know, no one really taught it, and no one really fixed it. So now it's made him one of the dirtiest relievers in the big leagues.
Well, it works. They kind of said that a few times about my swing too. But if you keep having a little bit of success, they don't mess with you too much.
Yeah, just a little Hall of Famer.
Well, I'll tell you, it was a challenge. It was a challenge, I promise you. That's why I told you. I'd hit 220 if I couldn't walk. If I learned how to hit the catcher with that backswing, I might have hit 300 instead of whatever I hit.
Little roller to Tyler White, who flips it to Davinsky for the second out of the inning. 2 outs here in a 7-1 game.
And I say that when you were talking about loading up the baseball and getting it to do something that it normally doesn't do. I'm like, man, I'd have done that if I was a pitcher. I'd have been spitting on stuff. I'd have an oil can in my back pocket.
Vaseline.
Yeah, any of that.
What was it, Major League? You put snot on the ball?
Yeah, I mean, that works. Now you can go to your mouth on the mound.
That's right.
Here's Jacoby Jones.
You see the ball thrown in, you see like a spin. There'd be water coming off the top of the ball.
Have a rooster tail, like a boat.
Exactly. What was that? I don't know. I was sweating. That's filthy.
That's that circle of death.
You know, it's so good, and with him, you know, it's just a circle change, but it's because of his delivery, the way he pulls off, it just puts so much movement on the ball. Basically, it's a screwball.
It's just like Fernando Valenzuela from another side. Oops.
In on the hands of Jones.
You know, with Fernando, they called it a screwball, but it was a changeup. But he just stayed inside it, and then you come with the little 95 mile an hour piece of cheese on the inside part.
Neck.
Yeah, that might have pine tar on it.
His pine tar, yeah.
Right from the batter.
From the batter, yeah.
Swing and a miss. Davinsky gets him. 1-2-3 inning, ending with a strikeout. Devo struts it off in a 7-1 lead. More challenge, more dingers than ever before. Enter the code All-Star DC to unlock exclusive All-Star gear at MLB.com/HRD game. Alex Bregman is the number 4 seed in the home run derby this year. He'll be opposed by Kyle Schwarber. He's going to lead off this inning. Jeff Bagwell, 4-time home run derby participant, and Bregman has put his name amongst the Lance Berkmans and Jeff Bagwells in terms of extra base hits before the All-Star break. Nice. We had somebody on Twitter ask if he could be an honorary member of the Killer Bees.
Yeah, he can. I'm okay with him.
You'll allow it.
I'll allow that one. Yeah, I like him, man.
What would you tell Alex about hitting in the derby?
I've already talked to him this afternoon. He needs to get the ball up and take his time. What happens is you get in there and you start swinging at everything. You know, and Alex is not, you know, he's not like Judge last year with hitting balls in the second deck to right field and shanking them over there. He's got to hit it to left, and he's got to
pull it, and it seems like the ball that's up a little bit and in, he can get it over the fence. But you got to take your time because it gets going real fast when you're in there. Because I mean, you do get nervous. I don't care who you are.
Sure.
You know, and then you start, if you don't, if you get to like 5 and you haven't hit one yet, and you hear the fans start to groan a little bit, like get him out of there. Let's get the real home run hitters in there. I heard a lot of the groaning when I was doing it. Let's get McGuire and Griffey up there. Get out of there, Badville.
All right, new pitcher for the Tigers, Buck Farmer, 27-year-old right-hander. Big fastball, mid-upper 90s, changeup, slider.
And a beard.
And another beard. They
you
all
have
have.
to. You have
Detroit.
to. When you're in Detroit, you have to have a beard. You never know when hibernation's around the corner.
When you look at all these strikeouts now, I mean, is this one of the, here's another guy that throws 95. Is this one of the reasons? Because every single guy that comes out of a bullpen these days seems like they can throw gas.
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason. I think the other reason is the game of baseball today pays for home runs. But my philosophy is, if I hit 30 home runs, what do I do with the extra 530 at bats I got? And striking out is not going to do that. And here's a guy that I've spent basically 3 years of my career striking out. So I have 1,500 strikeouts. That's 3 years of striking out, which is kind of embarrassing, but it works for my daughter when she strikes out in softball and she's crying. And I can bring her back and post on a computer and say, look at what your dad did. And I like to cry sometimes too, but I just couldn't do it as much. But I think that a lot of that is that. The biggest thing that I heard, which I thought was great, which I sent to our hitting coach, that I didn't know if he saw it, Alex Rodriguez had a talk with Albert Pujols, and he asked him which was more important, the 600 home runs or the 3,000 hits. And Albert told a story about La Russa came up to him in 2001 and said, would you rather hit 30 home runs or hit 300? Albert, being a young kid, said, man, it'd be great to hit 30 home runs. And La Russa said, wrong answer. Because if you hit 300, you'll run into 30. So if Albert Pujols says that, I'm going with that. And actually, I've heard A-Rod say it the other day too. I swung down on the ball, which really you're not swinging down on the ball. It's just the path to get there, to hit the backside of the baseball, to get the backswing. But a lot of guys, I think, get confused about that. They think you have to swing up to hit the home runs. And if you do that and you have velocity, which these guys have, you're going to swing and miss a lot, and there's your strikeouts.
Yeah, you don't have to lift it.
You do not. It's the worst thing you can do. And since the strike zone has been raised a little bit, when a guy's on third base and less than 2 outs, what does every single person tell you? Get the ball up. Well, now the ball is a strike up. So the ball's going to go in the air more. Ballparks are smaller. Guys are throwing harder. The ball's going to go a little bit farther, and you're going to see more home runs. But you're also going to see the league average drop, which I believe it has this year. Once again, go back to the Astros last year. We hit 280-something as a team. Didn't strike out that much, and we won the World Series.
Yeah, we just saw James McCann. We had to take a little break there from the game for a quick second. Take a foul ball off his left shoulder. So you say you want to be a big league catcher?
No, I want no part of that. I consider myself a pretty tough guy. Played 3 years with one shoulder.
Here's that pitch from Farmer. It was a fastball. Bregman's underneath a little bit, right off the left bicep.
Catchers.
It took him a little time to kind of catch his breath after that one.
You know, I watched Brad Ausmus play for a long time, and I don't know how he did it. I really don't. And then you got to hit, but I'm just going to say that's the reason why he couldn't hit, because he got hit so much. But that's a tough position. You know, a guy like B-Mac, who's out there every single day playing with bad knee, you know, and posting for his team. Those are the kind of guys that I want on my club. Guys that will get out there. You know, nobody feels great when they're out there. You pitch how many, 17,000 games. I mean, you weren't out there with your best stuff every single day. You got to get out there and compete. And that's the only thing you can ask dudes, man. Just get out there and compete. Nobody's going to be healthy all the time. You know, people are going to be sore. Your leg's going to hurt. That guy, he'll have some ice maybe on his shoulder later on this afternoon, but he's going to play the whole game. You know, it's a tough sport, especially being a catcher, because if your knees are bothering you as a catcher, and then you got to go hit with no legs, you got no chance.
Right.
So it's a grind being a catcher. I have a big appreciation.
I got the question. I still get the question. How hard did you throw? My answer is on which day.
Right.
Because it depends on what I've been doing.
Exactly right.
If I was rested or something, yeah, I threw pretty hard. But there were times that, I would go out there and my fastball would be very average. and then I would have to go to something else.
It's always
make
about
sure I
tricking
put it-
somebody.
yeah, make sure I put the ball where I wanted to put it.
You know, and we do the same thing in hitting. I mean, they have all this analytics about what guys are doing, and they're way more than what we had. But there are times when I could not hit a ball in. And I'd be lucky, and all of a sudden some pitcher would be throwing me fastballs away. And I get a base hit to the right, a couple of hits, and I feel good about myself. And the next week, all I could do was hit the ball in. And they try throwing me two-seamers in because I couldn't hit it in a week.
Tyler White deep to left field. He's going to add to the home run barrage. That ball's gone. Two-run shot for Tyler White. And the Astros now lead 9-1 on the third home run of the game for Houston. First at bat for White, taking over last inning. And Altuve spot in the lineup.
Yeah, Tyler's one of those players that has a very unique swing, but he's able to make it work, and he's able to keep the pitch on the inside part of the plate, actually maybe even off the plate, pulls those hands in and hits that ball well off the wall there above the Crawford boxes.
Yeah, when you do it right like that, not like what you just did, but when you do it right, you're actually rounding second base going, how did I do that? And what happens is all the work that these guys do in the cage and on the field and BP and all that, that's that muscle memory where it just takes over in that situation. And if you're square to the pitcher, that's what happens. You pull your hands in, you hit the barrel, and good things like that can happen.
Tyler White making it a 9-1 game. His second home run since joining the Astros.
That home run by Tyler White, 98.5 miles an hour, 37-degree launch angle, 386 feet. So hit it well, but it was all about the trajectory off the bats to let the ball go.
On the barrel.
Here's Josh Reddick. Reddick hitting a home run his last time up. He and Evan Gattis going back-to-back.
I like the way this game's going today. It's been fun. Get the talk. Watch the homers go.
A looper, long run, and backhanding it nicely in foul territory. Jamer Candelario with an outstanding play to retire Reddick.
That's a tough play right there.
I think he ran about 45 yards for that one.
The worst part is Reddick having to sit there him watching that whole thing the whole way. That's when you want to throw your bat at him.
Yeah, he had the bat in his hand too.
Wow. Come on, Peck, get in there.
Candelario.
I'll tell you one thing about, we didn't do much shifts when I played, except when Mark McGuire came up. So they take the whole entire infield over that way, left side from where we're sitting. Take all the outfielders over towards left, and I was the only one left there. Now, if anybody's seen Mark McGuire hit, when he hits pop-ups,
yeah,
they're like, they touch the moon,
yeah, they're
whatever,
moon
they
shots.
actually go over it. And I was petrified out there. I'm like, because I am by myself. Please don't hit it over here.
Yeah, I think I only faced Mark McGuire once or twice, and he got a hit on me. But we were with the Yankees, and we didn't shift, but he might be the only guy. But we had everybody turned, and I threw him a changeup, which I didn't throw very many changeups either, but I threw him a changeup, or split. 3 hoppers straight to the shortstop for a knock.
Oh, yeah.
Because we had to shift on.
Yeah.
Evan reaches out on the 0-2 pitch and rolls one to third. Astros add 2 more. They have scored in 5 of the 7 innings and lead this game 9-1.
run. These were your 3 clues. Thanks for tweeting us your best guess. I'm hoping Baggy got this one.
I got that one.
Can you tell us a little bit about Moises?
My compadre, he is one of the nicest people in the entire world. And I won't go in order, but I'll tell you it's top 3 hitters I've ever played with. Moises Alou, Jeff Kent, and Lance Berkman. It would be Moises is the kind of guy that on Christmas morning he'd wake up and get 2 hits. You know, it doesn't matter. He could just straight out hit, and it didn't matter who it was either. You know, and you guys will laugh at this. If you ever, like, you're on the airplane, you get that one, you look at a crossword puzzle, which I just kind of flip through real quick. But, you know, every once in a while you look down a thing and you see baseball, family. You always know it's the Alou.
It's always.
Yeah, it's always. So I knew when it said family affair, that had to be Moises. But then I saw the home runs. But, yeah, he's one of the greatest guys in the world. I truly do love that man.
No, I can tell you facing Moises Alou was never fun. No. And there was not a fastball that could be thrown hard enough that he couldn't turn it around.
He would wear this stuff out right now.
Oh, my gosh.
But I don't care how hard you throw it.
You put a wrinkle in it, you got a chance.
You do.
But you could throw in 5 breaking balls in a row and then throw at 98. He is going to square the ball.
Yes, it is. But the ball sounds a little bit different off his bat, too. I mean, I could talk this entire broadcast about what I think of that man. He's just good people. So that's nasty.
Devo striking out Goodrum on a changeup to start the inning, and now ahead 0-1 on Castellanos.
Let me ask you, Mike, a question. So you pick what spot you're going to be on the mound, basically to get your best pitches to be where you want to throw them the most consistently.
It depends on the type of pitcher you are and the angles you're working to the pitcher, to the hitter.
Now, but does it change per hitter?
Not usually. It's what you throw, not necessarily what he hits. So, you know, with Davinsky, with his ability, we're going to take a look at the Bregman throw right here. You know, footwork was okay. Looked like he gator armed it just a little bit. Tyler White.
That's a tough one.
You talk about that. You're the first baseman.
Well, I would try and actually back up his front foot there and try and catch it on the higher hop to get a better look at it. Get your eyes closer to it, because that's kind of that hop that you have no idea which way that ball's going.
That's in between medium
and
hop.
you have enough time to back up just a little bit and catch it chest high. That makes sense. It's chest high, but it's chest high as you're kneeling down almost.
Yeah, Tyler not having all that much experience over there at first base.
Right.
You know, that's something that you have to decide almost instantaneously.
Right. It's just repetition. That's all it is. The more times you see it. I mean, you got certain infielders too that you prepare yourself that there's going to be a bad throw. Alex is not one of those, but he's playing shortstop at that position right now. That's a tough one. That's an in-between, kind of like this. I mean, I can't tell you, there's probably 100 throws you catch in the dirt that you have no idea. You didn't even looking at it. You just throwing your glove somewhere. That's when you always say, hey, it was a great play. You should have saw it.
Right.
They track those scoops now this year.
Well, here's my problem. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I got you guys now for this. Where are we at here? 2 outs?
We may have to continue.
Okay, so we talk about WAR, right?
Yep.
Mike Trout is already like at the best WAR of all time. Tell me why. What does WAR cover?
Mostly offense.
Okay, run save too, defense? Or no?
There's runs. Oh, yeah. It's supposedly it's in there.
Now, let's be straight. I think he's the greatest player in baseball. Why does not the first baseman get more credit for that? Run saved. Who saves more runs out there than a first baseman?
No one. No, I agree.
You ask any infielder right there, second baseman, shortstop, and third, who's their best friend besides the dirt in their glove? It's their first baseman.
There you go.
Just saying.
Yuli's 25 of 27 in scoops this year, and it's a 9-1 Astros lead. Eyes on the guy who will start against his former team for the first time in his career. Justin Verlander on the career active strikeout leader.
Man, that is a lot of strikeouts. Now, CC has, I think, about 3 or 4 years on Justin. And CC has had to make that transition into a finesse, control, command guy. And we know Justin Verlander, he's as good as he's ever been.
He's always laser focused. I've got to think tomorrow going against the Tigers will be extreme.
I talked to Dave Clark the other day, a good friend of mine, and he says, I knew Verlander was going to pitch against us. No matter what happened. He was going to pitch on 1 day's rest. He was pitching against us.
Tigers go to the bullpen again, and it's the All-Star representative, Joe Jimenez.
23-year-old right-hander, big fastball, 96, 97 miles an hour, mostly fastball slider. Has had a really good season so far. And he is the Tigers representative in D.C.
What did he eat, Tony?
Tony Kemp has done a real nice job since being called up from AAA Fresno.
I agree, TK. Done a nice job. And I think you guys said it last night. He seems to always be on base when we're scoring runs. I mean, in the runs we've been scoring lately since he's been up, he's always been a part of something. Turning the lineup over. Done a nice job.
Well, I talked to AJ about him and about Tony. And what he likes about Tony is that he knows he's not a home run hitter. Yeah. He knows he's got to do things a little bit differently than most of the rest of the lineup. And he does the little things.
Yeah, and you're right. And he's always going to give you a good at bat. You know, he's not going to go up there, wailing away because he, like you said, he doesn't think he's a home run hitter. Right. Even though I'm sure he had a lot to say about the opposite field home run he hit, and he should, and that's okay. But he knows his role on the team and what he's supposed to do, and that's very, very important on a club like this. In a playoff team, you have to have guys that understand their roles. And I think Tony does a great job of that. That's generally why veteran players as bench players are better, because they understand this is what their job. They're not sitting there going, oh, I could be better than Carlos Correa or Altuve. He goes, I just got to do my job. And I think Tony does a great job of that.
Kyle Tucker bats 0 for 2 today with a walk and a run scored.
How many years did you play with Atlanta?
At the big leagues, a couple months short of 6.
New York?
A little over 6.
For both sides.
Well, that was just the Yankees. What you said New York. You're right.
Well, you
You're right.
The Yankees. Actually, to be honest with you, I'm actually surprised when I got in the booth. I thought that since you played with the Yankees for so long, that you'd have a guy here. Don't most of the Yankees have guys, like a guy? You have to have a guy with the Yankees.
He's behind the petition.
Is he? He's all loaded up with all kinds of guns and everything.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Briefcase. That's what Rocket had. He'd been petted. They had guys. They never had a guy. Brad and I always like, we don't have any guys.
Speaking of Rocket, what about your story about finding out you were an All-Star in 2001?
Yeah, 2001, I made my one and only All-Star appearance. We were in Baltimore, and I was having a big year that year. We'd been to several World Series in a row. Jeff Nelson had left, so I was pitching, well, pretty much every day. And Joe called me into the office. Joe Torre. And I'm like, why is Joe Torre calling me into the manager's office? It was after a game. And Clemens was there. Now it's really weird. Because Roger and I were pretty close. And he asked, well, what are you going to do? What are you doing, over the break here? We got the break. And there was times that Roger, he had the private jet thing, and he would let you jump on.
A guy.
Yeah, a guy.
Yeah.
This one just happened to have a plane.
Yeah.
Well, so I told, I was going to go back to Houston. He goes, no, you're not. What do you mean? And then Roger got to tell me, he goes, yeah, you're going to your first All-Star game. And it was so surreal that I immediately went into like a little trance, like it was a dream. I've been playing for 12 years. I don't think there had been another left-handed reliever that was a non-closer. There had been a couple right-handers, but a left-handed reliever that was a non-closer make the team. And to say it was special is a vast understatement.
Very nice.
I was so humbled with the experience that, and then it was just a whirlwind. Playing with the Yankees, we played the Sunday night game before
of course you did.
in New York. The game's in Seattle, so everything is moved up because it's East Coast time.
But let's be honest, you could care less.
No, you're exactly right. No sleep. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, right.
But it was.
That's great.
It was a pretty special moment.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I was glad that Roger was able to be there and kind of help me celebrate.
I'll tell you what, it tells you what Roger thinks of you too.
Roger's a good dude, man.
Yes,
I had the privilege of playing with him 2 different times. First time was 95-96 with the Red Sox. That's who I got traded from Atlanta to Boston. And then he came over, I think it was 99, he came over from Toronto to the Yankees.
He's the original Avenger. He really is, because you would you'd be standing there in the dugout, and then next thing you know, he's standing next to you. Like,
listen.
Like, where did he come from? I mean, how do you miss 6'4", 390?
Right.
Sorry, babes.
Yeah. Well, you're exactly, because in Boston, they had always talked about how you don't know where he is.
Right.
He had a hole somewhere. We weren't a week in Yankee Stadium, and we were all, where's Roger?
He's standing right next to you. And then next thing you know, he's standing right next to you. It's the craziest thing ever.
He always had someplace, a hiding place.
I'm telling you, man, I've never seen anything rock.
And then he also had 87 things going at one time.
Oh, yeah. He's not changed a bit.
Not at all. Not at all.
6'4", 390.
Yeah. He's a big dude, man.
He's a big dude.
He's a big dude. Stan and I were talking about our small little chubby hands.
Yeah.
You put both of his hands like that and throw a golf ball in the middle. That's what a baseball looks like.
Oh, gosh.
I used to play catch with him in the outfield on occasion, and he loved to not tell you when the split finger fastball was going. Dude, really? And he'd just kind of grin at you.
He's a big kid.
He is.
That's all he is, big kid.
Fedorovich gets called out on strikes. Good inning for the All-Star Jimenez as we head to the 9th in a 9-1 game. Go places. Here at Minute Maid Park, the Astros try to wrap up a 9-1 lead in the 9th inning, and they go to the young 22-year-old left-hander from Cuba, Cionel Perez.
Perez, not a big guy, 5'10", 5'11", 170 pounds, soaking wet. But my goodness, does he have a lightning bolt for an arm. Mid to upper 90s, has a nice little breaking ball. Made his major league debut on Wednesday against Oakland, tossing an inning and 2/3.
That is quite a hairdo. My man, he better throw 98.
Yeah, he's got the nice moss working.
He does.
Got rid of the little Billy Goat beard he had.
He did have that.
He did. It was about 3 or 4 inches long.
I can't say much about mine's getting close. But I think I had my first one before he was born.
Oh, my goodness.
22 years old.
That one went all the way down to your boiler.
Yeah. It wasn't quite a boiler then.
It was a stomach then. It's a boiler now.
It's a boiler now.
Ground ball on the first pitch. Bregman gets a chance. and makes the play for out number 1. It's been fun up here today. Jeff Bagwell,
Yes,
Mike
has.
Stanton up in the booth.
Enjoyed it very much, guys.
We're gonna-
Enjoyed it, man.
We're
You
not
guys are
going to
fun.
see you again until August, so
I
have
am.
a great time in Cooperstown.
Yeah.
I will.
There'll be a couple Tigers, Jack Morris, Alan Trammell amongst the guys going in.
I do. I don't know Jack at all, really, but I do know Tram. I couldn't be more happy for him. All the guys. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, especially the guys that got in, late. I've always thought Jack Morris, if you want to pitch one game, I mean, I wouldn't mind having him pitch. He's great. Tram is he's just such a great guy and just such a staple with the Tigers. And the rest of the guys, obviously Chipper Jones and Jim Toney, and Vlad, and Trevor, obviously. So it'll be a nice class. And it'll be nice for me because I don't have to worry about my family or a speech.
You'll be relaxed.
Yeah.
I knew that was what you were stressing out.
It wasn't that bad.
No.
Except that
How long did it take you to write it?
like 1 minute. I really didn't write anything.
put
You can
notes?
ask my wife.
Oh, you just bullet points?
Yeah, but I got nervous because the lady that did it on Saturday.
Go ahead.
The lady who did it on Saturday, she opened her notebook up and it was like 6 pages written, but front and back, laminated, and I was like, oh my God. So I woke up at like 9 in the morning in a straight panic, and I'm like, man, I can't do anything. I mean, it's all laminated and all that. So I just winged it. Just
did
used
great.
a few points. And
Yeah.
in the middle of it, I'm like, man, I'm talking too long.
No, you did great. That was a great
Well, I was
speech.
predicting the shortest speech in Hall of Fame history.
I would have loved it. But then when Rock got in and he talked for like 2 hours, I was like, man, I'm good.
Rock Reigns.
Yeah. But good for him, man. It was his last year on the
Oh, man.
ballot, so good. He deserved
Long
to be
time
there.
coming, just
Yeah,
like the 2 Tigers that are going in.
Yeah.
Long time coming.
Exactly. I agree with that 100%.
Well, that'll be fun. Baggy will be up there last weekend of July for Hall of Fame weekend in Cooperstown. CNL Perez, a couple of ground ball outs in the 9th inning, and now facing Jose Iglesias. And delivers a 96-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike.
Man, that's amazing he throws that hard. He is small. I walked into spring training with him. He's small.
Yeah, this is left-handed Pedro Martinez.
Right? Damn.
That's firm.
Got a little run on it. That's just God-given talent. Have got kind of fire in the arm.
Yeah.
Oh, breaking ball fouled away, and it's 2-2. Tigers down to their final strike. It's been all Astros today. 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 more in the third, 2 more in the fifth. Tigers only run coming in the 6th. Astros added 2 more in the 7th. 3 home runs today.
A lot of crooked numbers on the board.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Good thing to see that.
We talked before the game. This team looks every bit as good, if not better, than last year's version.
I sat here the first time I was on with you guys, and I was telling the fans, calm down. We're spoiled and all that. I've turned out to be that spoiled. I think we should win every game. I really do.
Yuli Gurriel gets to end the game for his fellow Cuban on the mound as he makes the play across the diamond. A 1-2-3 ninth for CNL Perez, and the Astros lead from the start and win this game 9-1. We will have plenty more coming up. Baggy, nicely done.
I appreciate it, man.
All right. Jeff Bagwell, Mike Stanton, everybody else getting ready for the post-game show coming up right around the corner.